Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. Something a little bit different and also a bit of a throwback, some cricket on the channel. It's the semi-final of the T20 World Cup. This one, South Africa going head-to-head with New Zealand. It should be an outstanding match. The last time these two sides played, it was actually in this tournament and it was a win for South Africa. Currently find themselves undefeated at this stage of the competition, but looking through at the lineups, we see the return of Matt Henry in the New Zealand side. So that is a massive bonus as his bowling has been phenomenal for the Kiwis. You look through at this Proteas team, they've got 3 changes from what we saw in just their last game, which they did secure that top qualifying spot. But the sides, they are stacked. The occasion, it is huge. These two teams in semi-finals, they are sitting 1-3 in their record. So the good news is someone has to win in this matchup, but it's going to be a good one, and I'm thoroughly excited to see what happens. We have got Ulrich in the chat. It said, hey, how's it, brother? Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Hope you're excited for this match. I will mention South Africa have won the toss. New Zealand have won the toss, and they have sent South Africa into bat, which does, means that New Zealand, anything under 200 on the surface seems to be the real goal for these sides, but I don't know if 200 is enough. We've seen some big run chases. Just look at that match between the West Indies and India just around the corner, or just yesterday. Brain's still waking up. It's currently sitting 2:15 a.m., but we'll get there in the end for this match in the T20 semi-final. But Mitch Satner said that he was looking at the surface, and it does seem like a high-scoring one. They've taken out one of their spinners from the lineup, and I believe that is just down to maybe a lack of turn on the surface as well. There's certain players that are really going to have to step up. Cole McConkey, he did brilliantly with the bat not too long ago, but Neesham, he has come back into the side. That is rather than Ish Sodhi, so that is the main big change for the Kiwis there as well. We have got the, here we go the Proteas, says Jan Lu, and Cricket Hamish is back. We're going to win, says KFC Clad. KFC Lad, and Hamish come for the cricket and stay for the rugby, and come the Black Caps. And so, what team do you support? Be honest, Hamish says Albert. To be honest, whoever wins this game, I hope wins the final. That's about as unbiased as you're ever going to get me. I do think that South Africa have been in a dream run for this tournament. I believe they are 7 wins from 7. We've actually got the pop-ups and all sorts to back that up. There we go. As you can see there, South Africa, they were able to beat the Canadians in their opening contest by 57 runs, getting over 200, which has been a little bit of a rarity at times throughout this tournament. But every once in a while, you get a high-scoring match, and to be honest, it could be this one for the South Africans as well. Their next game, they were able to win in the, it says super over, but it was the double super over up against Afghanistan. That was as close as they've come to losing for this Proteas team. They beat New Zealand in the group stage. That was in Group D. New Zealand set 175, and South Africa chased it down with the 17 balls to go. They beat the UAE, with the 6 wickets. They won up against India. That was actually a huge, huge game. And that is where, South Africa, they have the mental edge at the moment over New Zealand and India. They have beaten them both in this competition. Heading into the next stage, heading into the final if they make it, and it is up against the India side, will that play a little bit of a factor? Although India don't like losing, as we have learnt many times. They did brilliantly in the game up against the West Indies to book themselves a spot up against England, so still plenty can happen in these just 2 matches of the semi-finals. They were able to beat the West Indies comfortably as well, just losing the 1 wicket in that game and then going on to beat Zimbabwe to book themselves the undefeated run into the semi-final. For New Zealand, they were able to beat Afghanistan in the opening contest. They then beat the UAE, lost to South Africa, but followed up with a win over the Canadians. Now, that game up against Pakistan, that was one that was either going to work in New Zealand's favour or work against them. And in the end, you'd argue it probably worked a little bit in the Kiwis' favour, as they did get the 1 point from that contest. They beat Sri Lanka, and they had a close enough game up against the English that it meant that all New Zealand needed was for Sri Lanka to play decently up against Pakistan, and they did in the end. They actually pushed the Pakistan side. So it meant New Zealand booked themselves their spot through to the semi-final as well. New Zealand win with 7 balls to spare, says JP there for the run chase. And we have got there, hi Hamish, sorry, I'm supporting South Africa. Thank you for waking up early and giving us the commentary. Cheers from Durban. No worries at all, Brian. And yeah, completely understandable if you guys have got either New Zealand or South Africa as your team for this matchup. There's just a little bit of something special about a semi-final between these two sides, though definitely with what happened last time that they played. South Africa were in what you'd have to call a dominant position in terms of how they were able to win that contest up against the Kiwis. We've got all the stats from that game, but of course only sitting around 10 minutes away from the start of this one. Anyone who is unaware, the New Zealanders won the toss and they sent South Africa into bat. The surface seems like it's a 200-plus wicket. There might be a bit of dew in the middle overs as well as later on, but it's still going to be a great game between these two teams. Did Mitch Santner make a good decision? That's a very hard question to answer until we actually see the end of the match. It's either going to be a yes, and they did very well with the choice and, win from the run chase, or it's going to be the case of South Africa set a 220, and it just is always an uphill battle for the Kiwis with the bat. We will wait and see. We have got there, hi Hamish, says, Connor, welcome in, hope you are doing extremely well. South Africa for the win, boys. Make South Africa proud. Good luck, boys, says Ulrich. And Proteas should have this one. It's the final I'm worried about. It rhymes with bloke. Well, that's the thing. As you can see, semi-final records for New Zealand and South Africa. Neither of them sit that great in the department of semis. Now, neither of them sit great in the department of finals either. It's actually white ball that these two sides have been unable to reach the pinnacle. But at the same time, we recently saw South Africa in the World Test Championship. They did extremely well there. So they've shown that if they are in a position where they can go on to win, they can do it. Now, maybe that was because it was 5 days, and this one is only sitting about 3.5 hours. But there's still a very good chance that we see some brilliant batting from South Africa's top order. Aiden Markram, he is third at the moment in runs scored throughout the tournament. He has looked phenomenal with the bat in hand, and he's been backed up well by De Kock and Rickleton in that top order. Tristan Stubbs in the middle has been absolutely incredible with the bat going back to that double super over up against Afghanistan. He needed to hit a 6 off the last ball of the first super over. He went out and did that, showed exactly what type of power he possesses with the bat in hand. We always joke at the end. It's always the final. That get me worried. Great channel, Hamish. Respect, says Ulrich in there too. And at some point, we have to start beating South Africa at something, at anything. Well, New Zealand, believe it or not, in the most recent 5 matches, I believe I saw that New Zealand are 4-1. Now, the only one that they have lost in the most recent 5, if my stats are correct, is actually that game only a couple weeks ago in the group stage of the T20 World Cup. We have got their big one today, Mish. I think our boys, or think your boys can pull it off. I honestly don't know. And the thing is, South Africa's batting order for me is absolutely world class. But then you look through at the bowlers too, and these guys do deserve a huge amount of credit for how far South Africa have gotten while being undefeated in this tournament. You look through at someone like a KG Rabada. They've got Ngidi, who's been doing well. Maharaj is spinning up against the Kiwis last time. I believe he took a couple crucial wickets. Kerwin Bosch, Marco Jansen's height. It is a well-rounded team, and that's what makes South Africa such a threat in this tournament. If Miller fires, he can beat any team, says Ruby. And yeah, the fact that South Africa's batting order, I feel, goes down to about 7, with the fact that any of these men above can get quick-fire 50s. You could almost argue the same for New Zealand. So, yeah, it might be a run fest, or it's going to be the opposite, and the surface has given everyone the kind of bluff, and it's going to be a low-scoring semi-final. At the end of the day, though, runs on the board are much more better than the ones that you don't have, and with South Africa batting first, they'll have the opportunity to set a bit of a decent total here. Anything above 190, I think, in finals is going to be very hard to chase, but they're talking about 200 plus as being par on the surface. Chapman and Ravindra deadly. Yeah, a lot of left-handers in this lineup for the Kiwis. Can offer you a lot with the bat in hand, but the national anthems, they are now being sung, ladies and gents, before we get into the match. Now, interestingly enough, as we got close to this game and about 30 minutes before the start, South Africa were considered as big favourites. Now, since New Zealand have won the toss, New Zealand have dropped a little bit. So this game's looking a lot closer to 50-50 now in terms of the percentages and chances of being able to win. Ruth and Hamish streaming Cricket Impossible, says Milan. Yeah, it's been, I want to say, like 3 years since our last cricket stream. I have to say, it is absolutely awesome that so many of you guys have showed up for this semi-final. Of course, it is two nations that we predominantly cover when it comes to the rugby side of things. So, a few of you guys had that little cricket bug underneath that you were hoping to be able to watch some cricket maybe eventually on the channel. And yeah, we're here for all of the action of the semi-final. Wild, how we were calling Santner's names after the England match. Now he has navigated his squad to a semi. Love cricket, says Sash. And cricket's one of those ones, you only need one ball. And it can either make you a hero or make you feel like zero. And for Mitch Santner, there was a lot of criticism how he captained for that game up against England. But at the end of the day, we look through at the semi-final and we see New Zealand as one of those sides. So as much as people were nervous about that, and I think that was down to maybe a bit of indecisiveness and a bit of uncertainty around how Sri Lanka would play. Who's the strongest in the New Zealand team, Hamish? I would say bowling-wise, that pacer Lockie Ferguson has come a long way, or at least has got him a long way to run the competition. Having Matt Henry back, though, honestly could be the difference between New Zealand conceding. I'm going to commentators curse it right now. Between New Zealand, if they add someone else bowling there, I'd say they go for an extra 15 runs than what Matt Henry will, and probably take one or two less wickets as well. So that is, that's a very bold statement, but I have a feeling it may be accurate in this case. Just looking through at the top performers while we have the national anthems of these two sides. This is the last time that these two teams met. As you can see, Aidan Markram unbeaten. 86 of 44 balls with a strike rate of 195. Now, we get to see that man firing right from the get-go here because he will be opening alongside Quinton de Kock. For New Zealand, it was their spinner in Rachin Ravindra who had the best wickets to overs ratio. Now, of course, it's a bit deceptive. He only bowled one over and took a wicket in it. Neesham bowled two. So he has been brought back into the side without Ish Sodhi being there for New Zealand. Chapman just short of their half century, but dangerous. 6 fours, 2 sixes, strike rate of 184. Not much slower than we saw from Markram. Jansen went for 40, but he took 4 wickets. That extra bounce that he offers can be absolutely crucial. And just looking a little bit more into the bowlers as well as we get towards it. For New Zealand, Matt Henry last time up against South Africa wasn't that successful. Going for 9.5, although when Markram's firing the way he is, no one really had a great economy. Just ask Jacob Duffy. He brought up his half century, the only Kiwi in that match to do so. Unfortunately, it was with the ball rather than the bat. But Santner, normally very economical. He went for 8.3. That is high by his standard. So these type of players, Santner, Henry, and also Ferguson's pace, that's the type of thing that New Zealand will need to really use. And we also see McConkey added into the side. So we'll have to see what he can do under the brightest lights. But looking through quickly at what South Africa did bat-wise, Aidan Markram, top of the order, got 86. Quinton de Kock got 20. Rickleton on 21. Brevis on 21. And Miller on 24. It was a real team effort from the Proteas. No one let them down with the bat. Everyone with a strike rate of over 100. If they can do that here in the semi-final, that type of pressure could be too much for this New Zealand side. Hello, Hamish. Miss you, says at the net. It is great to have you there. Gee, I found a mythical English cricket stream, so little of those on YouTube, says Game. And yeah, welcome in. This is our first cricket stream on the channel for a good 3 years. We are predominantly rugby, but this one was too big to miss when these two sides go head-to-head. But do let me know, of course, who you guys think will be able to win. Did not know you do cricket as well. Good to hear your voice here. We used to do a lot more cricket than we've done recently, although I am thoroughly looking forward to the T20s between South Africa and New Zealand, and we may have to do them on the channel. To be fair, they are happening just around the corner. In about 10 days' time, we see the first one between New Zealand and South Africa. Now, the sides will look very different to what they do in this semi-final. I might actually be going to that game on the 25th in person, which will be great. That one's at Hagley Oval in Christchurch. But semi-final number 1, the winner goes to the final. The loser, unfortunately, their World Cup is over. Whoever wins will face the winner of England versus India. And how are you, my best friend? Did work give you off? Yes, at least for the morning anyway. I'll probably end up working in the afternoon for about 3 hours and then heading off to coach junior cricket and then cricket practice of my own. So it's a very cricket-based day. Markram got to be on it again today. Keep that run rate above 10 and over. Yeah, if they can put on that pressure early on the Kiwi bowling attack and just force them straight away to start, swaying away from their line, it's going to be a very hard total, I believe, to chase. Semi-final pressure I didn't get your channel banned last time. I might be wrong. Maybe it was something else. No, yeah, we did get a copyright strike from the last T20, or in fact, 2 World Cups ago for the T20. So we're hoping not to have that happen again, of course. But once again, this is going to be an absolutely awesome matchup between these two sides. Awesome is a word that I've used a lot, but we are jumping straight into it. First ball of the semi-final. It is Matt Henry bowling. Markram's on strike. He works it to the leg side for a single. What we will quickly do is I will adjust this as well. I have got it on one thing. There we go. Hopefully, with a little bit of luck, Mr. Scoreboard's going to play the game today. And we'll go like that. I'll click that button there. And yeah, with a little bit of luck, it should all be updating nicely. But first single of the semi-final is taken by Markram. So now Quinton de Kock, he is on strike. The left-hander up against Matt Henry. New Zealand opting to bowl, so they have to make a bit of damage early. That is a slightly shorter ball from Matt Henry. Hits Quinton de Kock on the thigh pad. As a dot ball. I think the scoreboard's actually going to be behind this coverage that I've got, which is quite good. We have got there, I think most of us South Africans have a feeling the Proteas may right the wrongs of the past and can pull it off this year. Well, to be fair, they've done absolutely everything that they could have in the group stage to be in a position to do that. You know, they have gone on, they have been undefeated in this scenario. They just need to finish it off at the end and kind of finish what would be an incredible campaign from this Proteas side. With a little luck, Paul McCartney and Wings. Says Music Man. And I want a duck, says Milan. I assume that is for Aidan Markram. Not Aidan Markram, for Quinton de Kock in this case. It's a very handy batsman, though. Another dot ball for the third ball of the semi-final. Scoreboard eventually, I'd like to think, will start updating in terms of how many balls have been faced and whatnot. Matt Henry bowling again. Quinton de Kock works it to leg side, finds the hands of Daryl Mitchell on the bounce. New Zealand is going to have to replace the coach after this. What if they win, though? That is, another factor that could end up happening. See, their scoreboard is updating a little bit. It's just the actual score itself hasn't yet. Hopefully, 1 second. I'll try refreshing, see whether or not that'll do it for us. But currently, there we go. It looks like it's going to behave now with a little bit of luck. Matt Henry, that one's picked up. In terms of the length by Quinton de Kock, he smashes it to the leg side down square. And that is the first 6 and also first boundary of this T20 World Cup semi-final. So that just shows the class of de Kock. The fact that it didn't even take him too many balls in his first scoring shot is the 6 runs. Well, then South Africa will fire their coach, Sears Martin. And Richard Illingworth, the umpire. Why is the game so late for me, the Rugby Sevens? It is just down to the Vancouver Sevens. 80 metre 6 there for Quinton de Kock. Matt Henry just swaying a little bit leg side. And de Kock picks it up early, but last ball, the first over, 7 runs off it so far for the South Africans. Henry needs a good finish here. And the call of no from Markram at the non-strikers end. Dot ball to end off the over. 7 from the first. 7 for none for the Proteas. This is the best South African team in history. It's now or never, boys, this game. Yeah, honestly, it's such a well-rounded side in terms of what they're able to do out there on the field with the bat as well as with the ball. Now, of course, we get to see the men with the bat a bit sooner than the ball. But, yeah, they're a really strong unit, this South African team. It seems like everyone is pulling their weight, and that's something that Markram mentioned before the game as well. There haven't really been too many weak links across the South African teams. It is everyone, they carry a little bit of weight in terms of what happens with the side. And, that is crucial. But we see now Cole McConkey comes in for his first over up against the Proteas in this tournament. He did not play in the last match up against South Africa. He had a pretty handy bowling performance his most recent outing. Got the 2 men deep on the leg side. That one's going to be worked down the ground. The single too long on. Aidan Markram continuing to rotate strike. He's had 2 balls faced, 2 runs scored. Brevis due for a big score. I think so. Although saying that, I think that a lot of these guys in the top order for the South Africans have got enough power. They have got enough ability to strike. Get a 50 here. Markram's definitely that key wicket that New Zealand will be looking for, though. Last time playing up against the Kiwis, getting 86 not out with a strike rate of almost 200. Scotland versus France are going to be good. Yeah, there's some good matches of the Six Nations taking place this weekend. McConkey pitches it up, plays it off the back foot late for de Kock. Man at short cover, no run taken. As is the start of things to come. As in like runs, I assume you're talking about that big hit from Quinton de Kock. He certainly timed it nicely. He advances down the wicket, hits McConkey to the leg side, past the fielder down the ground. It will be 4 more runs. So de Kock is only running in boundaries at the moment, whereas Markram has only faced 2 balls for 2 singles. So working at different kind of strike rates at the moment, but de Kock seeing the opportunity to advance. Hits a straight. New Zealand didn't have the fielder back on the long on boundary, whereas for Aidan Markram they did. Oh, giving himself space, hasn't timed this one. Quinton de Kock goes to the man on the ring. New Zealand take it safely to catch a Lockie Ferguson. And just like that, Quinton de Kock, the first wicket has fallen. And New Zealand get that all-important one inside of the power play. That's pronounced Proteas, not Proteas, says world champion. Sorry, I've been doing too much tongue rolling. We have got there, is this the start of things to come? I wonder if that was, no, that must not have been before the wicket, surely. But Lockie Ferguson safe under it to be able to take the catch. And that is a big wicket for Cole McConkey there, getting thrown into this matchup of the semi-final. A bit of a sly smile from Lockie Ferguson. I don't think he felt 100% safe under it. Tell you what, there's been some pretty low catching percentages throughout this tournament. India only at about 75. They are out. Quinton de Kock is. South Africa are not down and out yet, though. 12 for 1 after 10 balls. Still going at that strike rate of over 100. It looks like I arrived just in time for bad news, says Sean. Yeah, wasn't the greatest timing. But the good news is Markram's still out there. And now we get to see Riley Rickleton make his way to the middle. We have got there, Hamish, great to see you doing the cricket. That wicket puts the cat amongst the pigeons. Yeah, it gives a decision here for Ryan Rickleton. I think I called him Riley before, didn't I? But because now he has to decide, does he go aggressive here? Similar to what we saw from Quinton de Kock, because don't get me wrong, that ball beforehand, it was a nice play from de Kock down the ground for his 4. It was just he tried to do too much with the second delivery from McConkey. So I would say, I think Rickleton's just going to play his natural game here. I don't think he can go too defensive. McConkey puts it outside off stump. It's in the air. It's another wicket. That wasn't supposed to happen. Rickleton's gone for the duck. And now McConkey, who didn't play the Proteas last time, is on a hat-trick. That could be the big decisive wicket here for New Zealand. I can tell you right now, McConkey with that ball, it should have been swatted away to the leg side, to the offside. For 4, it was short and wide. But going after it, Ryan Rickleton, and didn't time it. De Kock always fails when it matters most, says Connor. South Africa bat very deep and very well, though. Absolutely. And the difference that we've seen here is 2 men have not got in the 20s like they did last time up against New Zealand. But that doesn't mean a single thing because Markram's still out there. And now, after 2 quick wickets, you still see someone like a Brevis make his way out there. Markram makes my pulse a jagged line. Make him walk too, says Malon. Yeah, he's a phenomenal batter, Aidan Markram. I still say it, one of the crispest looking cover drives in all of world cricket. And bloody hell, are they choking again, says Raven. It's not over yet. But yes, at the moment, the momentum is firmly with the Black Caps. A hat-trick ball just around the corner here. Quinton de Kock, the first man to drop 10 off 8. Second man was Ryan Rickleton. Here go the Black Caps, says Heptagonal Ghost. In there as well. And what we might actually do is we'll go like this. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to put too many of these in as of yet. It's going to be South Africa's wickets down the bottom. So the first man was de Kock. He ended up getting himself, they showed it just before, it was 10 off 8. It's a hat-trick on the way as well, ladies and gentlemen. And facing it, it will be Brevis. I can tell you right now, wouldn't have been expecting a hat-trick ball as the one that he goes into face, but cricket's unpredictable. McConkey, where does he put this one? To the right hander this time. The last 2 wickets were lefties. McConkey pitches it up. It's off the outside edge, and it will race away to the boundary. We'll finish off what was a strong McConkey over. 9 runs off it, but the 2 crucial wickets there for the Black Caps as well. I will just quickly put in Rickleton. He was 0 off the 1 delivery, and with a little bit of luck and a few... Oh, that's not going to work. Hang on. I'll have to adjust the scoreboard a little bit. We'll go up to about there. And then if I put this back... There we go. That looks all right, maybe. Was it what is wickets? Wickets is when the batsman goes out. So that's whether it's caught, whether it's bowled, whether it's LBW. There's many different dismissals. Run out, we're seeing quite a few of those. No runs for Quinton. Oh, did I take away his 1, did I? Hang on. Oh no, it's got 10 off 8. We are good. And also today is the day Brevis makes a big name for himself. Now Markram on strike, facing off with Matt Henry. Oh, pitched up delivery from Henry, just a little bit shorter than a Yorker. Markram plays it down the ground. And G says Clint D. And hope Brevis keeps his head and not too flamboyant in his approach. Well, that's the thing. Rickleton didn't, like that ball from McConkey, I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with where the ball was. Because it was outside off stump and it was short and he didn't have the field set for it. But Rickleton just chipping it into the hands of the fielder Fennell, and that's down the leg side from Henry. That ball's taken off for 5 wides. That adds a little bit more pressure back onto the Black Cats bowlers. Henry, big smile on his face. This is this game that he does return for. This is going to be an exciting contest. Hopefully the winner will face England, says Nick there. Yeah, it does seem like India... There are a few people who think that side could miss out just based off the catching that we've seen. But one thing is for sure, that chase up against the West Indies was phenomenal from India. Their highest T20 run chase in a World Cup. Oh, that's almost hit the pad of Aidan Markram. Just a little bit down leg side again there from Henry. He was just asking the question to the umpire, but New Zealand winning the toss, electing to bowl. You'd have to say the 2 early wickets make them think that this was the right choice. But still a long way to go. And until they get through Markram, through Brevis, through Miller, through Stubbs, through Jansen, through pretty much everyone in this team, no score is off the cards at the moment for South Africa. Henry, again, just on that off-stump line, punched down the ground from Aidan Markram for the single. Now sits 3 off 5. Looking at his bat, giving it a good inspection, the old GM. Bat did very nicely up against New Zealand last time round, getting him in the 86 range. I think he was the only man to bring up a half-century in that match. Chapman got close. He was on 48 in the end. Other than, of course, like I mentioned, Jacob Duffy brought up the half-century with the ball. 3 balls gone of this Henry over. 13 runs so far off of Matt Henry. Brevis now on strike. Oh, nicely played. Defensive shot from Brevis. RMG, to which say, what are you doing? OMG, to which say what you are doing. Is that as in like me doing the cricket, or what do you think of the New Zealand coach? I think that coaches take a huge amount of stick these days. But at the end of the day, if a coach can get a team to fire, like, they've done well. Because, so often it seems to be that if anything goes wrong, it's the coach's, like, straight away coach's fault. But a lot of the players do try and say, no, it wasn't the coach. We made our mistakes. We dropped our catches. We didn't score enough runs. Another defensive dot ball. Just showing here, needs 49 more runs for Aidan Markram to bring up his 2,000th in T20 Internationals. Mitch Santner needs 2 wickets for 350. And Tristan Stubbs, 62 runs for his 1,000 in T20 Internationals. Honestly, that's not off the cards here with the way that man plays. Dot ball to finish the Henry over. It is an economical one in the end. Other than, of course, the 5 wides. But even with that, only going for the 6. I'm going to score at 22 for 2. Woke up to get a drink and found this on 2 wickets already. Nice one, New Zealand, says Viral Shorts. Yeah, they've started well, the Kiwis. And Quinton de Kock, he got himself off the mark with a 6 in this contest. So to see the back of him, if you are a New Zealander, that is a great sign. But again, this batting lineup is so phenomenal for the South Africans. Their bowling lineup does match very nicely too. But yeah, it is absolutely anyone's game here between the sides. We are about to see the first over from Lockie Ferguson. Right arm fast. Currently ranked 71 in the ICC T20 rankings. He's got the pace though. That little bit of extra zip could be crucial here. Markram on strike. Again, just punches it towards man on the ring at mid-on. Another dot ball. Often too many extras by bowlers, says Hilberry. Yeah, we saw a lot of wides actually throughout. Was it that was it South Africa, Zimbabwe that had all the wides, or was it West Indies? It might have been West Indies, India. They had a lot. It sounded like you say, see Quinton de Kock. I hope I didn't. Oh, let's hit the back leg of Aidan Markram. Going down the leg side though, but it does smack into the pad hard. It's a good start to the Ferguson over with the 2 dot balls. Once I went for a shower, now seeing the scoreboard. Come on, the Proteas. Let's break the hoodoo, says Brian. Yeah, these two sides, you could argue have both had, it's not even like, it sounds harsh, but terrible semi-final records. As you can see, both sides only 25% likely to walk away with a win. Now, the benefit is for both of these sides, someone has to win this game. So that's a bonus. Oh, down the leg side, it's in the air and it's dropped, I believe, from Rachin Ravindra. It was a good effort to stop it from going to the boundary, but I think that's a drop, and that's going to be a significant one. 3 runs for Markram at the time. We're going to see it now. Yeah, popped up in the air. Oh, that's a sitter for Rachin Ravindra. That is the type of catch that can win you a semi-final. Or as the saying, catches win matches, and he will be so gutted to have put that one down, Ravindra. He wasn't in the greatest form heading into this tournament. That was more so with the bat, but fielding. It's another one that goes down. This one's in the air, but it goes through, down the ground, and 4 runs for Markram. That may have been the opportunity that man needs just to click that brain in. And now you can see the frustration for Ravindra there. He's getting a high five from his teammate. Second bite at the cherry, make that drop catch count. And yeah, he's already upped his run rate. First boundary for Aidan Markram, knowing that this is now his opportunity to cash in on the Black Caps era. Markram on strike. Ferguson will be gutted not to take that early wicket. Pitches it up. And again to the leg side. Daryl Mitchell fields it on the circle. But yeah, Markram dropped on 3. 86 not out last time round. Up against New Zealand. The strike rate of almost 200 now. Currently his strike rate only sits at 80. So that's a bonus for the Kiwis. But that can of course escalate very quickly. Last ball of the Ferguson over. It's been an economical one so far, but you'd have to say it should have had a wicket. Who's going to pull it up for Proteas? Honestly, now that we have seen that drop of Markram, he may completely smash this game out of the park. Oh, shorter ball from Ferguson. Reared up quickly. It's worked down towards third man, and that will be the single to close out the Ferguson over. 6 runs off it, and South Africa are 28 for 2. Now, a lot of sides in this tournament have had a lower catching accuracy than they would have liked. South Africa, I think it took them till about their second game to actually have a drop catch. They were very clinical in the first match up against the Canadians. All right, Markram just having a bit of a chat here with Brevis. Knows the cruciality. Is that a word? It sounds like one. Or how crucial instead, maybe. That drop could have been. Up against Canada, 59. Up against Afghanistan, only getting the 5. His high score throughout this tournament was up against New Zealand with the 86 off 44. Also had a great game up against the West Indies, 82, not out off 46. But surprisingly, been a few games that he hasn't quite fired. You have to get that man out before 10 or else he just keeps on going. It seems to be more times than not, if he brings up that 10, he works his way towards a half century. Seems like Jimmy Neesham is the next option here for the Kiwis. The 35-year-old came into the side for Ish Sodhi. How long is the game? Says Mohadeen. Cricket match in T20, you're looking at about 3.5 hours, somewhere around there. If we go to a super over, of course, it's going to be a lot longer. I don't know if New Zealand want to play off super over. As their record there hasn't been that great either. That's going to be a single down the ground. Just a bit of a misfield from Ravindra. It was rolling to him, but Pops it across to the man at mid-off, and I can tell you right now, he will still be thinking about that drop catch. That is one of those ones that as a batter as well, although he will be bowling maybe a little bit for New Zealand, that one just sticks with you throughout the game. Good morning. Says Fortnight. Yeah, I hope you are doing well. Currently 2:50 a.m. here in New Zealand, so a bit of an early start for us. It's not too bad of a time in South Africa. 3:50 p.m. I believe for a lot of you guys. Oh, down the leg side from Nisham. It will be the wide. Damn, I didn't think I was that late. I see our batting has already collapsed. Not quite, JP. They dropped Markram on 3 runs. So for him now, any runs from there is an absolute bonus. And I think he's going to cash in. Current run rate for this South African side, it's just dropped below the 7. Happy birthday, Hamish. It's not quite December. So still got quite a few more months. Lots of energy shown by the Black Cats, says Sash. And that's where that catch will weigh on Ravindra quite a bit. And that's why so many of his teammates were going over to him, trying to tell him to forget it. Fielded there at extra cover by Rachin Ravindra. And that's the thing. As soon as you drop a catch, the ball follows you. Because you know you're getting another catching opportunity sometime in the future. They're just showing the replay. Dropped on 3. It was an easy catch by the standard that the Black Caps normally hold themselves to. Markram is building an innings, says Sash, and Quinton was being very aggressive. Bit of good bowling done him. Says Sash, he just went 2 balls in a row, didn't he? Hit that one down the ground so efficiently. Then the next ball stayed on the back foot and just punched it in the air to the fielder. New Zealand, 82.4% catching accuracy throughout this tournament. Following him a little bit there, Nation, but a great strike of the ball from Markram. 6 runs over mid-wicket. The innings has begun. Quinton is expected, but Rickelton for a duck. Yikes. Yeah, that one threw me off a little bit because it was a short ball from McConkey as a spinner. Outside off stump, not a lot going for it, and should have probably been dispatched to the boundary, but just caught it a little bit off the edge and kind of worked it down towards third man where he was caught. In fact, probably it was a backward point position, I believe, for Finn Allen. But now, chance here to close. Oh, no, a little bit of extra pop there. And work down the ground to long on for another single for Aidan Markram. He's above that 100 strike rate now. Hello there, Mr. Kiwi Sir. How are you? Love to see you doing the cricket commentary, says Bon. In there. Or sorry, says Junior. Yeah, it's been a long time since our last any sort of cricket commentary. I used to do quite a few of the test matches. We've done Ashes before in the past. But yeah, it's been a good couple of years. A bit rusty probably, but 2 balls remaining in the Nisham over. He's gone for 9 so far. I was waiting for some tries. Oops, it's that dodgy thing cricket. You guys should try Irish hurling. That's what you call a game. Just in for lunch. Enjoy your game, says Dennis. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully it does go well. Oh, that's in the air, but through the cover region. And that is a 4 for Brevis. Moves up to 14 runs off the 8 balls. Moving relatively quickly. Oh, sorry, 10 off 7, I should say. Getting 1 boundary ahead, but Nisham pitches it outside off. It came back in a little bit off the seam. A good full presentation of the bat from Brevis. Hit along the ground too. Yeah, we got guys to carry. This is a good squad. Hashtag Protea Fire. And I won't lie though, I feel much more comfortable this World Cup than previous ones. Still have Miller and Stubbs to come in. And a few decent all-rounders. Absolutely. Like this South African team, it has been mentioned. And, oh, that's a shot. Down the ground, through the field again. Now Brevis moves to 14 off 8 to close out the Nisham over. He's gone for 17, so I'm not too sure if he'll get another one anytime soon. But a great counter-attacking over from the South Africans just after slight rebuild of the last over 2. Making the most of this power play. Just outstretched hand from Santner. Wasn't quite able to rein it in. Much respect to New Zealand, but I'd feel horrible about losing this early, says JP. Yeah, see, it's an interesting one, really, because South Africa and New Zealand haven't got a great semi-final record, but I do feel whoever wins this game, the other nation will probably want to support that team in the final, whether that's up against England or whether it's up against India. So it's almost like the two sides that have been labelled as the slightly inconsistent in playoff cricket will probably end up supporting each other through the later stage of the comp we have got there. How's it? Lovely to see you commentating. Love watching you or watch your rugby podcast. I'm a subscriber from South Africa, says Jaden. And yeah, it is greatly appreciated you tuning in for this one as well. Single work there off the Lockie Ferguson first ball. Marked him on 16 off 14, already cashing in for an extra 13 runs, more than he could have ended up with. But Brevis was striking the ball beautifully throughout that last over. 2 classic cover drives led to the back-to-back boundaries. And the crisp sound off the bat too from him. Ferguson now. He's got that little bit more pace. And also we're seeing a little bit more bounce. And that's where someone like a Mako Jansen could be quite handy for the South Africans. It's going to be another dot ball. No, mate. I know world in which I'd support India or New Zealand over New Zealand. Yeah, so I think that even though there's that bit of the rivalry in the rugby side of things, there's still that respect from both teams that they'd like to see whoever wins this game go through and do well in that final. And are you doing tomorrow's game? Which game are we talking, Mohideen? Oh, semi-final. West Indies versus, not West Indies, India versus England. Undecided at this stage. I think it will depend on if I have to work Friday morning, but that is another dot ball for Lockie Ferguson. Third wicket partnership at the moment has progressed to 34 of 24 deliveries. So neither of these men messing around. A lot of sides have been attacking the power play, trying to get it ramping up to around that 10 and over. Feel bad for Rach and Ravindra though. They've just shown they're dropped on 3 for Aiden Markram. South Africa deserve this. Honestly, the way that they've played up till this stage, you'd have to say that they are the most consistent side of this World Cup. South Africa have started so bad. I wouldn't say so bad. Like, don't get me wrong. Losing those 2 wickets is not ideal, but it could have been 3, could have been 4 if we had seen Markram go out on the 3 runs. Both these men striking at over 100 at the moment, building into the innings of over 8 and over. I'd say this isn't too bad with what could have happened after that McConkey over. Can you tell me that don't know cricket that much? I was the best at that sport. I gave up years ago when a test match at Lords went on for days and days. All down the lee side, another wide from the New Zealanders. I was doing some pitch work over there. So in terms of favourites from the start of this tournament, India were the ones to really beat it as a home tournament for them, and all the playoff games from here are happening in India. South Africa, though, at this point in time, you'd have to argue are right up there, but everyone who was in the Super 8 thoroughly deserved their spot there. And yeah, I'd say that, honestly, England are a bit of the dark horse of this competition as well. They haven't completely fired. That's a beautiful shot down towards backward point, but McConkey fields it on the boundary to just restrict it to 1. And again, very well timed from Brevis, who is striking the ball extremely clean throughout the early stages of his innings. Ferguson good bowling here, says JP. Yeah, if he can get away with this last ball not going to the boundary, you'd say overall a very handy over from Lockie Ferguson. We have got there these 2. They need to accelerate. Over 2 overs is enough to consolidate. CS Sash. Oh, little bit of extra pop there. That's actually hit Seifert in the face here. That one reared up. And he does not look flashy at Tim Seifert. It has hit him in the nose and it might be bleeding. Probably going to have to go for an HIA test. He just took it above, well, it looked like it was going above the eye line, but this one has had a steep, ugly bounce off the surface. Seifert got the 2 hands. Oh, it just brushed off the bottom of the glove and smacked him in the nose. And that is not a good one for the Kiwi keeper. And Brevis is such a great prospect for South African cricket. Yeah, I think they've got a ton of young guys that can really become greats in the game as long as they're consistent. That one's really popped off. And Seifert just taking the eyes off the ball a little bit. His nose pays for it. And he's on broadcaster head, says Sash. And hi Hamish, says Danielle, welcome in. All right, it does look like Seifert's all right. Maybe. I think they're just doing the HIA test, and wear helmets there. It's not worth the risk, says JP. Although a bit of a freak accident for Seifert with the gloves. It is going to be the end of the power play, though. 48 runs off it, so 8 and over being scored by South Africa, losing those 2 wickets of De Kock as well as Rickleton. But from there, A nice bit of partnership building between Markram after he was dropped on 3. And also some clean striking from Brevis. Gets South Africa in. I would say this is a decent position. Definitely, we've got to remember this is a semi-final. You want runs on the board as it can make a big difference later on when the pressure starts to build. Top performers though, McConkey 2 for 9. Off his 1 over. Thanks, Hamish. Enjoy the game. Off back to grind. Says Dennis. So yeah, we will probably catch you for the rugby throughout the weekend. And Brevis' placement is top-notch. Yeah, he just seems to be able to find gaps, which is why he'll be so disappointed with how well he hit that backward cut. And it ended up finding the hands of McConkey on the boundary. Markram, just a bit of shadow batting here while we've got that HIA test going on for Seifert. It seems like he's going to be all right to continue. So I guess who would go to keeper for New Zealand? Maybe Phillips? If they had to bring someone in as the backup wicket keeper? He'd probably go all right, to be fair, Glenn Phillips. He's had a lot of different roles in his career. He's been a wicket keeper. He's been a spinner. He's been a top order batsman. He was lower down, but really working on his all-round game. One of the best fielders out of New Zealand at the moment. If there's going to be a diving screamer of a catch taken, it would be by him. How has New Zealand's batting form looked lately? All the consistent performers, etc., says JP. So in terms of New Zealand's lineup, the good news for them is, well, it's good and bad news. Overall, there's been quite a few guys who have helped out, but I've got it here in terms of the spreadsheet of batters for New Zealand. So currently, the way that it sits, Tim Seifert has got the most runs with 216. He's got a batting average of 43.2, which I can tell you right now is why New Zealand definitely don't want to lose him to any sort of injury here. Highest score of 89. Finn Allen, he's got a batting average of 37. Glenn Phillips, average of 44. And those two relatively similar. Allen, 183. Phillips, 176. You know, Ravindra's had a good innings. Santner's had a good innings. So, like, everyone's got a high score of 30 and above in terms of the main batters. But you'd have to say those guys who have cashed it in, turned it into half centuries, that is the big one. So you're looking at Seifert as well as, Finn Allen's power at the top of the order can change a game for the Kiwis. Finn kept a few games from Scorchers, or kept a few games for the Scorchers this season. Yeah, that's true. So he could, yeah, they've actually got quite a few options when you consider the Kiwis, although, of course, they still don't want to lose him. But Mitch Santner coming into the bowling attack. We had the break after the power play. Now, first ball rocking onto the back foot there, trying to sneak it through the cover point region. There's the dot ball. Last game up against South Africa, Santner. He was a little bit more expensive than he'd normally like to be. He's one of New Zealand's more economical bowlers. As you can see there, this was the last match up against the South Africans. Man who did not feature was McConkey, who has already taken the 2 wickets early on for the Black Caps. But Santner gone for 33. No wickets taken up against the Proteas last time round. Do cricketers tend to use the same bat for all formats of the games, T20 versus Test, or use different size, weight, willow blades, etc.? Trying to hoik that one to the leg side there for Brevis, just a single down to long on. I think it depends on the batsman. Some guys, you know, they will want to use that same bat as much as they can across all formats. You know, if you've got your favourite bit of willow and it's just striking the ball so nicely, but some would have slight adjustments. And also there's just that natural variation of bats made anyway. That no 2 bats are quite going to be the same, which is why normally they run on about 3 or 4 of them when someone snaps their bat and they kind of test them all out, decide which one they like. Get Stubbs to open, says Sush. And I don't know why we keep Quinton open. He should be batting third. A bit of a lull here for South Africa. Need to pick up the pace. And Rickleton at 4, says Sush for the order. New Zealand, they have got the 2 men down the ground, long on, long off, and then also deep mid-wicket. I think there's a deep square leg too, so very leg side orientated, giving himself space there. Brevis hits it out to deep cover. And again, just a single. This is a good economical over so far from Mitchell Santner. Going for just the 2 runs plus the leg bye. Run rate at the moment for the Proteas is 7.5. I'll be looking to up that little bit more, but for now, the last thing that they want is to give New Zealand half a chance of getting back into this game. Again, trying to sneak it through the field on the offside. Fielded in the deep by, I think that was Glenn Phillips. And a single to end the over. A good one from Mitchell Satner. And who was playing this weekend of the URC, the South African sides? No one at all. So this weekend we're back to the Six Nations. Although we are going to get to see the Blitzbox Sevens in action. So that is the most South African rugby that is happening throughout this weekend. And then the weekend after, I believe it's going to be just the one South African derby that has taken place. Currently, last 12 balls, 7 runs, no boundaries off the last 2 overs for the South Africans. Markram, though, great form. Says Sash, and New Zealand will be happy. Yeah, they'd be a lot happier if Markram had already gone back to the sheds. But at the same time, as long as they can restrict him to just a run a ball, that would be pretty huge for them. Barach and Ravindra into the bowling attack. Variation, they gave him a nice, generous 38 on the ICC power rankings that they do. Seems a bit harsh, but of course he just loves a bit of off spin. Similar field to what we saw from Satner. So the 4. Oh, that's a wide to start us off. But long on, long off. Deep point, deep mid wicket, and also deep square leg. Short boundaries as well. Only about 65 metres in places, even less in others. 52 off 7 overs is not great, says Sash. It's not, but it's also semi-final. So I feel like you can almost allow them to be a little bit slower now. And as we've seen in this tournament with the short boundaries, all it takes is 1 or 2 good overs and you can get yourself, 40 runs off those 2 overs, crank your way towards 200. Like South Africa getting to 200 from here is not impossible. So maybe this pitch is playing a little bit better than they thought in terms of the bounce at the moment. I've seen a couple from Ferguson pop up. The spinners are getting some good pop off the surface too. 2 dot balls. Oh, sorry, not 2. A dot and a wide for Ravindra's over. We've got someone running out onto the field now. What's going on now? It seems like there's a case of some sort. Oh, new bails, I believe they're going for at this point in time. Of course, you don't want faulty ones for a semi-final. Very handy tool for the third umpire to be able to work out if it's out or not. The lads kicked me off the touch group because I'm watching cricket instead of going to play touch. That's pretty harsh. Wasn't it like some sort of important game? Because surely a semi-final gets them up there. New Zealand have never lost a World Cup semi-final. They've never lost a South African World Cup knockout game. Are you sure? Their semi-final record's 1-3, is it not? I think that's the stat that they had earlier on. Let's talk rugby. Says Martin. I mean, there is rugby around. Who's playing in the Six Nations? We are going to get to see Ireland versus Wales, France versus Scotland, and also Italy versus England. Or Ravindra follows him to the leg side, worked away by Brevis for 1. Another decent economical over from the Kiwi so far. 3 balls, 3 runs off it. And need 5 reasons to join back. Well, there's always a first time, says Hartley. And why can't you show the screen? Because it would be illegal due to copyright infringement. But we are going to be here doing the play-by-play all throughout the matchup. As it's going to be a pretty intense one between these two sides. Ravindra, slower ball, hit down the ground from Markram. It's in the air and it's a great take from Daryl Mitchell. Markram's not sure. Okay, Mitchell's not sure either. He's just said to do the TMO or the DRS to make sure that he has got that one under his fingers. He is unsure. Markram still ran the single just in case. This is a big moment here. Is it going to be the back of Markram, the captain, or is it going to be the case where it just falls short of Mitchell? Huge moment in the semi-final. France and Italy and Ireland for the wins. They're going to show it now. Does Mitchell get the fingers underneath it? No, I think that one's just about touched the ground. It's a debatable one, and it does look good. No, I think that's going to be not out. I think that ball is brushing the grass. It's one of those rules that they've really become strict on over the last few years. They're looking at the replay, but I think it's just down. All the pools South Africa beat New Zealand in our pool games and World Cups. Says bad to the bone. And we have got there huge moments. Says Sash there and get him out. The umpire, the third umpire has said he's seen fingers underneath. I think this one's going to be given out. Now, it is a good catch from Daryl Mitchell. It would have just been whether or not it did brush the grass. I think the South African skipper may feel a little bit hard done by there, but he was dropped earlier, so I guess that is still the wicket that the Kiwis were after. Now we have South Africa 3 wickets down in this match. We will add Markram to the fallen wickets. But Ravindra manages to get him, just tried to give himself space there, Markram, but bounced off the ground. It looked that way, didn't it? Or at least from that first angle it did. I love Kiwi commentary these days, says SoCal. And also close call, could go either way. And Proteas are chokers of World Cricket, says Martin. And also we have got the yes, and New Zealand got World Cup and South Africa not one, says Martin. Or in white ball format, New Zealand, I don't believe, have got a World Cup. They've been through to a lot of finals. They've got a World Test Championship, so do South Africa. South Africa in big trouble, says bad to the bone. That wicket was not coming at a good time for the South Africans, that is for sure. New Zealand were just building pressure, though. It had been about 15 balls without a boundary, and that was the big difference. Lingo has said, show the screen. I explained to you just before why we couldn't due to copyright infringement. That is a big wicket, says SoCal Dreaming, and looks like we will be sending ICC an email, says how's it? The worst thing about losing Aiden is that he faced 20 balls. Yes, he normally by 20 balls, that man's sitting around 35 runs. But not in this case. Rather, he got out. We get a hitter in, says Sash. And pathetic call that, says Stephen. Yeah, from that first angle, it looked like Mitchell, don't get me wrong, he caught it, but I thought that the ball brushed the grass. From that first angle, I think the fingers, they've ruled it as underneath, but Rachin Ravindra now, it's in the air. Chance, oh no, doesn't quite carry down to Mitchell, who was almost in the game again for the first ball faced from Miller. A wasted innings for our captain, not great to see, says JP. And Killer Miller, yeah, we've got to remember, this man got himself a total of 86 up against New Zealand last time around. In fact, all of South Africa's lineup got themselves 20 or more. Yeah, see, that was one from that angle in full motion and normal speed. It does look like a half volley to Mitchell, but they ruled it as under the fingers. Oh, a little bit of a slower delivery there from Ravindra, just flighting it up a little bit. A single taken by South Africa. And let's go, says Dale. And Miller, we need a big one, says JP. Yeah, if Miller can fire here, like that's the thing. There's so many great talented players. Brevis faced 18 balls. He's going at about a run a ball at the moment, but he can honestly just propel that up massively. I think I said 175 is about past his bad to the bone, which is quite interesting because heading into this match, they were saying the surface looks like a 200 wicket. And Aaron Finch was asked before the game, would 200 be enough? And he said he's not so sure. But honestly, semi-final and finals cricket in general, normally you take a few runs off. It can be quite difficult to, it's very difficult to judge what is enough. Go New Zealand, get rid of the Proteas, says Martin. And also we have got there, we can do some damage with Brevis, Miller and Stubbs. Yeah, still all players who can well and truly work their way towards 50. Satner back in. Brevis goes down the ground. He's got hold of that one. And that is 6 over the head of the long on fielder. Brevis moves to 25. Martin Wide root against your countryman. Says, how's it, my bro? It's a good question. I think he just doesn't like cricket. From what we've worked out from the other ones. I don't know whether or not that is because he's backed them at some stage and they've lost and he's gotten annoyed or what. But yeah, it's quite an intriguing sight. 83 metres down the ground from Brevis. It's a bit of a risk though. And at the end of the day, it still keeps the New Zealand fielders in the game. He mistimes it. Could be taken on the boundary. Gives himself space again. That is a clean strike of the ball. But it goes out deep to cover. Phillips waiting for it. Just need Brevis now. Says bad to the bone. Go New Zealand, go New Zealand. You got a lot of South African support. It sounds like just you, Martin, at this stage. Go Brevis, says SoCal. They've just shown there the reaction time for... Oh no, they showed the wrong one. That's a bit harsh. They showed the reaction time of Rachin Ravindra when he dropped Markram and then showed the replay of Daryl Mitchell taking the catch of him. When I was about to ask when was the last boundary, says Marlon. Yeah, he's made sure it was recently for Brewis. Now the left-hander Miller, he's sitting on 1 run off 1. South Africa's run rate just under the 8 at the moment, but that can definitely accelerate throughout these middle overs. It was actually talked about how there wouldn't be a lot of spin throughout the middle overs. of these two innings, but it seems like New Zealand may actually opt to go predominantly spin just through this next patch. I'm also supporting New Zealand, so I jinxed them. Says Cool Story Sharks. Santner, he's gone for 8 runs so far off the first 3 balls of this over. A new bat. Oh, now sometimes that can be good and sometimes that can be bad for a batsman. Brevis, he was striking the ball so nicely, so you'd assume a damaged bat is why he would be replacing it. I can tell you for a fact, if I was to hit a 6 with a bat, I wouldn't swap it out 2 balls later. Are you happy with Rennie as All Blacks coach? It'll be interesting. I feel like a lot of people thought it would be Jamie Joseph, but at the same time, you know, it seems like Rennie meets what they want for this All Black side. Now Santner out wide there. Nicely done. It's inside of the wide line. Brevis stepped away to leg side to give himself space to hit through the offside. So there's only one man in the deep for New Zealand on that side of the field. Other than, of course, I guess long off does still count. A lovely 6. There's 7 there. I like great team. Teams that like win. The Proteas always choke. Go New Zealand. Nice cut shot. Struck it cleanly, but fielded in the deep by Phillips. And restricts it to just the 1 run as well. 2 big overs for South Africa, and we can take it. Yeah, exactly right. All it takes in a game of cricket, definitely T20, is a couple overs over about 17 runs, and your total can look completely different. We've seen sides look like they weren't going to reach that 200 mark or even the 150 mark at times and then just accelerate throughout the later stages to get there. Miller, just waits patiently. Not a lot of foot movement there from Miller to play that one out through to the offside, but that'll be the end of the Santner over. It went for 10. South Africa 67 for 3. How's that a fair catch? Seriously, I actually have no idea. I thought that it did touch the ground. Definitely that first angle. Maybe the secondary angle showed a finger under it that wasn't as clear as the first. But yeah, I thought it looked like Mitchell. Don't get me wrong. It was a good catch, but I did think it just brushed the ground underneath. And maybe it was the crushing of the fingers, but definitely one that I would have had a couple more looks at for such a crucial moment in a semi-final. I like to support the winning team noted, says JP. Let's get the Black Caps. And yes, one bats man can go, says Andrew there. Yeah, if New Zealand can pick up the wicket of Brevis here, it would be absolutely huge. It looks like Rachin Ravindra again will continue his bowling. He did get Markram out in his last over. To be honest with you, I'd rather have Miller and then Test Cricket Markram this game, says JP. Oh, it's hit down the ground. It doesn't look like it's going to go safely, and New Zealand dropped the catch in the deep, and it's a man who you'd expect to take them 9 times out of 10, one of the safest hands in this Black Caps team, and it is dropped by Glenn Phillips, ladies and gentlemen. 2 drop catches now for the Black Caps. That is what pressure can do. He made the ground. Ravindra forced the false shot from Markram, but again, it's put down in the outfield from the Kiwis. Got there, Phillips hits him in the chest, hardly touched a hand. And Ravindra, I guess that's kind of a full circle moment. He did drop one earlier on off Ferguson. We are completely choking here, says JP. Markram was struggling, actually glad Miller is now in. Says 7. That was a 1 out of 10, says Sean. Yeah, the chance of him dropping it was definitely 1 out of 10, if not 1 out of probably 100 for Glenn Phillips. He made the ground so quickly. He's one of the quickest across the field for the Kiwis and just smacked him straight in the breadbasket, in the chest. Just went through the hands. Are you our lucky charm, Amish, says Cool Story Sharks? I don't think so. Proteas currently up till this stage are undefeated in this tournament, so I feel like if anything, if they lost, I would be their unlucky charm, which isn't the naming that I'd like to have. Oh, down the ground, Brevis with one hand. He has got that one all the way into the crowd. And what could have been a very handy over for Ravindra turns into an expensive one already with just the 3 balls gone, 9 runs off it, and 14 tournament sixes for the ball Brevis. And Brevis, cheers, lots of energy for the Black Cat, says Sash. You can South Africa support you big time. Oh no, so go New Zealand, says Martin. But that one's 89 metres. And yeah, you can see the frustration from Phillips. Of course, it was Miller that he ended up dropping, but it still hurts when you see a batsman at the other end rotating the strike nicely and then getting this type of player on strike. And Brevis is currently striking it very nicely throughout the tournament. 150 is his regular strike rate. He's just a little bit below that for now, I believe. In fact, no, yeah, 143 at the moment for the strike rate. I'm going back to sleep. Drop ball, says Viral Shorts. Martin's heart has been broken many times before, you can tell, says JP Era. Miller needs to cash in on that chance. And yeah, to be fair, it seemed like Markram, as soon as he hit that boundary off the very next ball, it seemed like he was going to cash in, but then just got stuck going at a runner ball, similar to what we see for Miller, although it's a bit earlier in his innings. Trying to give himself space there. Brevis hits it to deep cover again for just the one. As he does, but Brevis looks in good form here, says JP. Yeah, he's striking the ball so crisply. And the fact that that last six that he hit down the ground was a one-hander tells you just how well the ball is coming off that bat, even though he switched out that bat only about an over and a half ago. A super slow, magnified close-up would show clearly that it was not a fair catch. This being a decisive game, surely all the necessary technology needs to be utilised. I agree. Oh, it's hit down the ground from Miller. It's gone high, and New Zealand take the catch this time. It is Gerald Mitchell underneath it, and Miller goes. He wasn't able to cash in on the drop from the Kiwis. There will be a massive sigh of relief from Glenn Phillips there. But Daryl Mitchell, in both cases, when someone in his team has dropped the catch, he has taken them. He's got massive hands, and that one just went in the air for an eternity. You could see it straight away. Miller, he was frustrated with the fact that that one went high, and Mitchell, that one is not debatable, has gone straight into the hands. Let's go the Black Cat, says Andrew. No, says SoCal Dreaming. I think the Kiwis are going to win, says Vic and Burn Sports Chat. And neither of these sides have great semi-final records, though, so plenty can still happen. And, of course, South Africa are batting here, but New Zealand still have to get these runs, and scoreboard pressure in a final or a semi can be absolutely massive. Sometimes feel like it can add 50 runs, depending on the circumstances of the game. But New Zealand, that is the end of the 10th over, and it's going to make it 77 for 4. And Stubbs can also hit. He can. And anyone who doesn't believe you should watch those super overs again in terms of what Stubbs was able to do off of his bat. He's one of those bright, young, talented players, backs himself massively. He's got huge confidence. And he's also only 62 runs short of bringing up his 1,000 runs in T20 Internationals. And honestly, that's going to be the first 1,000 of many with the way that this man bats. This is a dangerous partnership that New Zealand need to break quickly. And Brevis and Stubbs must take us to 17 overs to SoCal. And also we get the Stubbs can also hit. And now our hope is in the 23-year-old Brevis. Andrew Stubbs, he is also around that same age. He's got 98 on the 100 scale for innovation. It just tells you what he can do with the ball off the bat. He's not going to be at the striker's end, though. Brevis will be on strike to Neesham, who had an expensive first for the Kiwis, going for 17 off his over. New Zealand preparation has been good. Been a lot better than last time round. I can tell you that right now. With no warm-up game sitting into that last World Cup, they probably kind of got what they deserved in terms of that prep. Looking at the setup now, they have got the 3 men on the leg side, deep square leg, almost at a deep backward, in fact, deep mid-wicket, long on, and also a man at deep third for the Kiwis, all nicely fielded by Jimmy Neesham, hit back towards him by Brevis. So it seems like Neesham's either going to be trying to bowl wide and force Brevis to throw their hands at it with the man at deep point as well as deep third. Or they've got a little bit of cover on the leg side, although these boundaries are too small for Brevis's power. He'll go straight over the top of them if he can. I'll stick to pummeling the Kiwis in rugby, says Titanium. And what's gettable, 150? I think, honestly, 180. At least on the surface. Would be the total that South Africa are looking for. Whether it's gettable, different story. It's in the air. Brevis is gone. He's chipped it to the man at cover. The field tactics from the Black Caps have worked. And that is now 5 down for South Africa in this contest. That is a massive, massive wicket for the Kiwis, as now South Africa have 2 batsmen who have not faced a ball in the middle. Brevis goes off 27 balls. Neesham, who was the most expensive out of all of the New Zealand bowlers, strikes here. And Santner takes the catch for the Black Cats. At least they can't poke any eyes when the Black Cats bat, says JTR or GTR. And it's happening again, says SoCal Dreaming. And says Sean. Yeah, Brevis goes. Bowled by Neesham. Caught Satner. 34 off 27 for him. He'd be disappointed with that too. He had the opportunity to really accelerate and bring some innovation into this innings alongside the other youngsters, Stubbs. South Africa collapsing, says Alberia Ball. Yeah, although I always like to say it, you don't know how the surface is playing till both sides bat on it. Maybe it looked like a 200 surface, but perhaps it might only be a 150. Markram doing well. He survived cashing in now. Says Ruth there. And what's new? Says such nice catch. That's a massive. I thought Nish would get touched up. Yeah, honestly, it could have gone either way. Because Brevis is the type of batsman who could have got 20 off that one. Sending in Marco Jansen now, the 25-year-old. He's got plenty of power. He's got huge levers. Can hit a long ball, but has to be safe a little bit here. Great bowling, New Zealand, says Janlu. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of catches. Right, different field for Marco Jansen. Deep backward square leg, deep fine leg, deep third man, deep point, and also long on is in play here too. You think we can still get 150? I think so. I think there's enough decent batters in the South African side. I know I've talked a lot about that top order, but the middle order is still extremely dangerous. And, you know, you look at someone like a Jansen, for instance, and his runs throughout this tournament. 1 second, we'll go like that. Marco Jansen at the moment, you know, he hasn't fired yet. He's only had 2 innings and he scored a total of 18 runs. You look at Tristan Stubbs on the other side of things, though. His batting average is 106. He is yet to be dismissed in this World Cup. Oh, no, he might have been out once, in fact. Was he out once or is he still not out? I think he's been out once in this tournament. So, you know, he can still bat. So we're going to need 160 at least. And all covering cricket today, we certainly are. And I have to say, it is greatly appreciated the amount of you who have showed up for this cricketing live stream. Neesham hit down the ground for the single towards the man at long on, Daryl Mitchell. He's had a busy old day at the office. Plenty of catches going, and the payoff is going well. And I'll say this is tragic, Hamish. Are the Kiwis bowling that well, or is it poor batting? I don't want to discredit New Zealand's bowling, but there's a big but there. I do think South Africa have probably thrown away 3 or 4 of their wickets. You know, that delivery that got out Rickleton was not a good one from McConkey. Short outside off stump should have been punished. You look at, you know, a couple of the ones likes of Quinton de Kock, he just chased the wrong ball. Now, work down to deep third man for the single there for Jansen, moves to 2 off 2. But yeah, I do think that South Africa at times have been their own worst enemy in this setting of the total so far. How they've just gone for the wrong ball. Like Brevis showed, if you wait for that ball to be in your slot, you can punish it. The boundaries aren't huge, but it's just chasing that wrong ball. And maybe that is the scoreboard pressure of the current run rate only sitting about 7.5. But yeah, I do think that New Zealand have put the ball in a spot where there's either a wicket on the cards or in some cases a boundary, and some that could have been boundaries, South Africa have turned into wickets. Are we going to lose this usual stuff? This game is not over. Second innings is still on the cards. Great over from Neesham, though. The wicket off it, as well as just the 3 runs. Imagine if we caught our catches. Said bad to the bone. Could have been a different story. Yeah, we could have seen Markram gone early. Miller, we would have seen early. Well, only 2 balls prior. But you're right. We still have to bat on this wicket yet, says Andrew. We have a great bowling lineup, but this is too tall a task, says JP. I mean, if anyone was up for a tall task, would be Marco Jansen, one of the tallest in world cricket. He has now got a bat in hand, sitting 2 runs. So far, fell after the same trick twice. Yeah, just hit it in the air down the ground. He did keep his head down at least, but just didn't get it cleanly. As South Africa out, they are not out. Then they are nowhere near down and out either for this matchup. 80 for 5 off the 11 overs here. South Africa is going to win here, says Cheslin. I think I missed one from Vic and Byrne, didn't I? I think all out for 115. That sounds harsh. I'd like to think they wouldn't do that. And all covering cricket again. Yeah, for the first time in about 3 years, I want to say it is that we've got... Oh, in fact, it might only be 2 years, although time's going so quick at the moment. Therapists in Cape Town are about to buy second homes. Off the back of the straw, says Marlon. Yep, down the ground. Another long on single. Rachin Ravindra bowling his 3rd over. I think everything they've predicted about this pitch so far has actually been wrong. They said that it would be a 200 surface, which of course it still can be. if South Africa accelerate throughout their last 9 overs. They also said that there wouldn't be a huge amount of bowling spin in the middle patches, whereas New Zealand, it seems that's all their bowling at the moment, with the exception of that Nesham over just before. South African since the Donald and Klusner, all pitched up by Ravindra, through cover for 1. Throwing away the semis against Australia. South Africa always choke when it matters the most. No surprise if we lose here. And the worst part of it would be the fact that they've done so well up until this stage, South Africa. They are undefeated. The only side up till the semi-final who have remained undefeated. So, it would be a shame to see their campaign end here. And they are up against the side of New Zealand who don't have the greatest semi-final record either. They're 3-1 with the 3 losses, 1 win. We can fight from 160. Come on, boys, says SoCal Dreaming. Yeah, scoreboard pressure in any sort of semi-final playoff match in general can be a brutal downfall for a batting lineup. But for now, New Zealand being very strong in the bowling department. Rachin Ravindra, just the 2 runs of his first 3 balls. Thought about going a little bit aggressive there, Jansen, but does just punch it down to Lockie Ferguson at long off. But Rachin Ravindra, he's been a really impressive bowling option. And the crazy thing is, he was probably more so picked for that batting initially when you look at this World Cup squad. But 7 matches, 11 wickets, and an economy of under 7, all advancing down the wicket for Stubbs, the youngster. Just a single there. I'm predicting a Jansen hat-trick today. Well, we almost saw one from McConkey in the first over from him. He hasn't bowled since, though. He's actually been taken out of the bowling attack. Bro, it's 4 a.m. New Zealand. Aren't you sleeping? I am not currently, no. We were possibly going to be. I have managed to negotiate my working hours to be in the afternoon for a bit rather than in the morning so that I could cover this match. And I am hoping to cover the final as well, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure, if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button. There's also a New Zealand versus South Africa T20 tour just around the corner. 5 matches taking place on New Zealand soil. The teams will look very different, I believe, from what we are seeing here. But that first match taking place in around 10 days' time. They are going to be 8:13 a.m. kickoffs for you guys in South Africa, including that first one, which would be on the Saturday. Oh, no, that would actually be a Sunday kickoff for that one. And I know it's not really a kickoff, but that's just the rugby lingo that I'm used to. And Stubbs or Corbin lands the breakfast show. And Jansen 50 and takes 5 wickets. It'd be huge for him. But tell you what, it would build his confidence massively. What work you doing, Hamish? So we're just fixing or trying to add an extra wall to a building. Like they're extending the living area. So getting that all sorted. Santner. Also a bit of underfloor insulation needs to be sorted too. Bit of a deflection there. And we'll just be the dot ball once more. I think it was Lance Klusner. Are you talking about Ismail, says Danielle. And New Zealand just trying to hurry through these overs at the moment. They've got South Africa in a little bit of a slower scoring patch. It's going to be cut out to deep cover. They thought about the 2, but a bit of a yes-no call. They take just the 1. Proteas World Cup records, I regret nothing, says Goal Story. So when you work, probably from lunchtime onwards, I would say. What was the biggest mansion you've ever built? I haven't built a mansion. But like decent sized houses, like about 4 bedroom, I think was the biggest one. Nothing like crazy big. Kesh going to rip it on the surface. Yeah, although, well, the other thing is they said there wouldn't be a lot of turn on this surface. So we'll see whether or not Maharaj can make it 0 from 3 in terms of the prediction from the commentators prior to the match. Are you doing 7s this weekend? We certainly are. It's going to be a bit hectic. The pitch is not what it seems, I think. Yeah, see, they all thought 200 was the pass score on the surface. I'm not so sure. Oh, a little bit leg-side-ish from Santner. Worked off the hip for another single. Last 12 balls. We're back into that patch where South Africa have not been able to get themselves a boundary for around 2 overs. Although the last way that they broke that drought was actually a 6. So expect something big here from Jansen or Stubbs. 2 younger players. It's a tricky one because you look to those experienced guys, such as a Miller. Oh, reverse sweep. It's hit them right on the pad. Fielded there by Lockie Ferguson. It's going to be a dot ball again. Now Jansen, though, trying to get that innovation going. But yeah, normally you'd look to someone like a De Kock or a Miller, someone with a lot of game experience to just talk you through this type of patch. But this is unfamiliar territory for some of those youngsters in the team, and there's a lot of pressure now on to try and get one away to the boundary. It's off the outside edge. It's going to bring the boundary. It's not quite how Jansen would have wanted it to go, but it is 4 runs nonetheless. And that'll end out the over now. South Africa sitting 91 for 5 off the 13. It also gets them up to that current run rate of 7 and over. It's another one, says Sash. It always seems to be about that 13, 14 balls as to when South Africa do hit that boundary. It takes a lot of batting, or a lot for a batting lineup like the Proteas to collapse like this, says Ruby. What is your favourite word? Mine is potato. I'm not sure what my favourite one would be. There was one a few weeks ago that I was saying that was quite fun, but now I can't remember what it was. Run every 2 balls, so we make 100, says 7. They'll be fine. I think that there will be an acceleration period. I don't think that 170 is off the table here for South Africa. Going at about 11 and over from here would get them towards there. Now, they'll have a couple quiet overs too, but Stubbs, he is such a clean striker of the ball. And I don't think it can be underestimated how quickly he can turn this game around for his South African side. He has an average of 106. Now, hit down the ground, though, for just the single, not showing off the power. I think we are lucky if we get 115. See, 115's pretty close at the moment. That's only 27 runs away. Or somewhere around there. I think my maths was slightly wrong. In fact, it would have been about 27 away. I think that from here, if they got 115, it's because they've been bowled out. But I think that anything under 130 would be a real surprise for me. Hit down the ground. Jansen goes big. Has he? Yes, over the top of Daryl Mitchell. And that straight away brings them up to 98. 150 I rate, says Sash. His favourite phrase, if that makes sense. Yeah, I have to spend a lot of time making sure that people know what I mean. And Stubbs as a beast, says SoCal Dreaming. And Jansen can hit a long ball too. Fun fact, heading into this innings, this would be a third of the runs that he has scored in total throughout this tournament just from one spot. Mr. Kiwisu, would you like to sponsor me, please? Sponsor you for what? Like, as in like a brand deal? Now, Racha Ravindra pitches up that little bit more now, making it harder for Jansen to get underneath it. Heard the call of 2, but they will just take the 1. Is cricket popular in New Zealand among native population? It's relatively popular. There were times when cricket was it seemed like doing decent numbers similar to rugby. Cricket, I think, is about the 3rd most popular sport in New Zealand, or somewhere around there, 3rd or 4th. Oh, leg side-ish, that could be no. Not quite Seifert, couldn't quite get to it. I believe it went back then pad. And A is, I read that one, didn't I? We need Herschel Gibbs. Cameos now, says Ruby. And backed it up nicely, says Sash. Is there an inside edge? No, it was just off the pad, so it wouldn't have been out anyway. I'm a kickboxer and low-key need new equipment. Says Junior there. I see. Do you do, like, kickboxing competitively or like as a recreational activity? Why did that sound so official? Oh, that was close. They did scamper through for the quick single there. It ends the over. Oh, no, not quite. One more ball remaining, but that is the 100 now wide. Would have been if he hadn't hit it. But he did chase after it there, Stubbs. He's sitting 7 off 10. This is, once again, unfamiliar territory for that young man, as he is normally the accelerator. Currently, in terms of his strike rate. Oh, it's hit down the ground again for just 1. I say a lot in cricket, so I do apologise for that. I just get a bit excited every single ball, no matter who's bowling. And the 100 up, says Sashi, now sitting 101 for 5 off the 14 overs. That run rate is sitting on 7.2. That was a good over, 10 runs off it. Rebuilding quite nicely, and I think these two are aware that the last thing that they want is to lose a wicket here. Kicks boxes at the supermarket, says Damien. And we need AB. And we have got there, I'm starting to compete in the next few months. Need certain pieces of equipment before I can compete, says Junior there. Kickboxing, that's the one that you get the shin pads, right? Or am I thinking of Muay Thai? I think Muay Thai also have the shin pads. But Is kickboxing, you do get, well, do you? Yeah, you get the shin pads in Muay Thai, don't you? And kickboxing? Yes, says Junior. I'd rather watch this than a Stormers game, says Cheslin. I'm happy into, because watching the Proteas is torture and I seem to enjoy it, says Seven. It's one of those ones though. Cricket can be one of those games that you either love 1 second and hate the next, or, it's so quick changing. 101 for 5. I would say at 14 overs in, their run rate's been a little bit slow in the consolidation stage, with some good bowling from the Kiwis. In fact, Rachin Ravindra bowled every single one of his overs throughout that period. Shampad's very good medical aid. Hamish, give everyone on YouTube money. I mean, I would if I could. It would be a very hard one to organise. Plus, the channel would go bankrupt. Someone's were so bad, says Vic. And also, Springboks are a blessing, but cricket, I'm reaching a point where I would rather watch Bafana Bafana than the Proteas, says Brahm. Yeah, although normally, they're heading to New Zealand soon for that 5-match T20 series. I wouldn't put it past the young experimental side that is anticipated to come over to do well up against the Kiwis. In fact, I think they did last time, didn't they, the experimental team? But yeah, the World Cup, I'd say hoodoo for these two sides has been pretty brutal. Neither of these teams have won a white ball World Cup. Isn't that crazy to think? With the amount of opportunities that they've had, they both had 4 semi-finals that they have played, and only twice between them they've made it to that final. So, had it been, let's just say, if it was South Africa versus India, New Zealand versus England or something like that, or in fact it would have been the other way around, I believe. The chance of seeing either of these sides progress probably wasn't very high based off their history. Projected at the moment is looking at around that 144, 155 maybe if they start pushing, which I believe these two have the ability to do. I used to do Muay Thai, now make the change to kickboxing, looking to eventually move to MMA. Says Junior, and Proteas and Bafana. It's a waste of time, says man, that's a good Yorker from Lockie Ferguson. Dug out by Jansen. Does get it to single to third man. Block Vic and Vern channel? Is that because he said that the Stormers played badly? I believe rum and coke in South Africa is cheaper than anything else in the world, or anywhere else in the world. We are hitting it hard now. Cheers, Hamish, Ulrich and Bridget, and Port Elizabeth. Yeah, it is greatly appreciated, everyone popping in. Like I said, I had no idea what was to be expected in terms of this cricketing live stream. I wasn't sure if we'd have 5 watching or whether we'd have maybe 50, but we've got over 400 at the moment, which is absolutely incredible. That's another single for the South Africans, just rotating strike at the moment. Stubbs is sitting there, 8 runs off 11. Jansen, after that 6, has moved to 18 points to 15. My daughter Sammy says hello. Welcome in, Sammy. You are enjoying the match so far. Score prediction 158 for the South Africans, so a bit of work to do to get to that total, but not out of the question whatsoever. And we have there, happy with Dave Rennie. I'm happy to see how it goes, and I'm happy that they've got a coach, because it seemed like for a while they were going to wait months and months. So at least they've put pen to paper and got someone in there. Congratulations to Dave Rennie, says Danielle. And the Proteas will win. I just prayed they do, says Notakaza. And also, did you watch the game between the Springboks and the Proteas 6 years ago? I didn't. I know that they do a Sharks match, don't they, with cricket versus rugby. And New Zealand also have their rugby versus cricket that takes place as well. Another single, though. 3 singles. The first 3 balls. Now pitched up outside off. Oh, nice misfield from New Zealand. And it sounds weird to say a nice misfield, but it did stop a boundary through cover. So getting their hand on it and making it now 4 singles in a row. Uh-oh. No ball from Lockie Ferguson. Those are the type of moments that can completely change a game, as that now turns that ball into 2 and a free hit for the big man Jansen. Obviously, the Ellen coach won't last long, says Mohadeen. Never any set up to fail, says Jason. We're going to see it there just over by half a inch there for Lockie Ferguson. Now has the free hit to bowl to Marco Jansen. He will free his arms. Oh, great Yorker. And it will just cost New Zealand 1 run. Well, 2, I guess you could say, because of the no ball as well. I think Rennie will be good. Yeah, it's definitely intriguing. They love him, it seems, in terms of David Kirk and the New Zealand board. We're all saying like he meets the values and the plan that we have for the All Blacks. So obviously, he's pitched a good sale. And we'll just see whether or not it works out. New Zealand need a New Zealand coach or couch. I think the couches here are the same as elsewhere. Which channel are you watching this game? So it is on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand. Or at least I think it is. But I'm watching it on the TAB because it's a little bit further ahead. The last thing that I wanted was to be like behind in terms of the coverage and find out everything that was happening before it happened. So the TAB are pretty up to date in terms of the time. He said you didn't get the job? No way. I would not want that New Zealand coaching gig. Now another single. Last ball of the over. It's a short ball to Jansen. It has to be extremely short to get it over his head, so it's going to be a dot ball to finish. And South Africa now 108 for 5. We have your commentary. A couple of my mates also following you. You're welcome to pop in for a braai anytime. I do want to make a trip to South Africa at some stage. I'm not sure when it would be. I'm hoping within like 3 years or so. But, yeah. Hopefully one day. And I do want to go to a lot of braais while I am there. I've heard a lot of good things. Boerewors, something that I will definitely have to try. I've tried some biltong, but it wasn't the best here because I got it through a courier and it sat in the van for like a day and a half while it was hot in summer. So it tasted a little bit off, and I actually gave it to some South Africans who we were working for at the time, and they said, that's not good stuff. Got to get it from the source. Are you doing Rugby Friday? I believe so. That is the plan anyway. If it wasn't for your calming commentary, I don't think I'll be able to get through the innings by the Proteas. Says Ruby. Now Satner back in for his last over. It's outside off stump. Struck cleanly to deep cover. New Zealand have got him very well situated because there's been a lot of times that had there not been a deep cover, it could have been boundaries for the Proteas team. Shut up, please, says Rick. We'll try it. Just not the same, is it, Rick? Now, nicely played there down towards middle stump. And damn, it's Kiwi Sir. I wrote math today, and damn, that paper ate me alive. I'd be happy to get 70%. Maths was always tricky. Definitely when algebra comes into the equation, like that's just confusing. Satner, lobs it up outside off stump, not tempted. It is the wide against the Black Caps. Hello there, boss. How are we doing? Doing very well, Seb. And it is absolutely awesome to see you. Of course, you were here for a lot of those original cricket streams. I believe the streams on the channel were the ones that actually got you into cricket in the first place. And since then, you've become an avid supporter. England playing just around the corner too. You can make your own biltong. Yeah, although I don't think mine would be any good, to be fair. Like, I wouldn't trust myself to actually do it right. 111 up on the board. The South Africans, 3 balls off this over, yet to have a boundary struck. Oh, it's at the pad. Then they thought about a leg by, but won't get one. Scampering in at third man. Cut that one off. I keep going, mate. Your voice is soothing. Oh, well, we get clapped in the semi. It's not over yet. There's still a chance. I don't trust that this bowling. Oh, that's a very wide one from Satner, almost off the pitch. Tristan Stubbs was doing a little bit of a boogie there. Moving the footwork or moving the feet all around. You on the cricket receive the full credit for my cricket addiction, says Sebastian there. And yeah, it feels good to be back for a game of cricket. It's been a long time. And, it was one of those ones we were doing at one point as many cricket streams as rugby streams. Great job, Hamish. Keep it up, says Vic and Vern. Thank you very much. I had to make some beautiful biltong, Mr. Kiwi Sir. I used to have a biltong, or I make some beautiful biltong. I used to have a biltong business. They do have a sponsor of the cricket. It's like a biltong place in Canterbury. Oh, no overthrows there for the South Africans. Again, just a single, and that is a pretty economical 6 from the Black Cap skipper Satner. 25 runs, no wickets taken, but he's been able to tie up some crucial overs throughout this middle patch where South Africa would have been looking to accelerate. Haven't quite been able to. Just let me know when you're in Port Elizabeth. Never eat biltong. It was in the sun. It will kill you. Oh. Well, that's probably lucky that it didn't then, because this stuff was like, it was pretty warm by the time it got here, covering whole BBL seasons. I reckon even Fox missed a few, but not the Kiwi lads, says Sebastian. I remember back as well that period where I lost my voice completely during BBL. I don't know how many of you guys will remember those live streams, but it got to the point how I realized that my voice was completely gone. What's your name? My name is Hamish. There's been a good cricketer from New Zealand, Hamish Marshall in the past. Hamish Bennett also, Kiwi cricketer. Matt Henry back into the bowling attack, pitches it up. Gets hit down the ground for one. I always say if you are having lack of boundaries, just rotating strike can be really crucial. The run rate, though, still sitting around that 7 and over. What's economical is the fact that I've seen 83 instant message about asking for sponsors and got one. Who was the one? Because surely, like, they're like the one that you go with, right? If they don't smash it now, I'll become a Black Cat supporter. This is ridiculous, says Ruby. They're biding their time a little bit. I wouldn't have anticipated Stubbs. Oh, that's a bouncer and a wide. There from Matt Henry. Yeah, I wouldn't have predicted Stubbs to be at 13 off 18. Jansen, 21 off 18. That's not too bad, but we've got to remember, he's hit a 6, and I think that might be his only boundary, is it? At this stage. We might... Oh, no, sorry, he got that outside edge for 4, didn't he? Hunting season in the Eastern Cape, as in winter in South Africa. Do you live in Auckland? Because I also do. I live in the South Island. That's a shot from Marco Jansen. I talked about his 6 hitting, and he's just hit another one. First boundary in a while for him, and the first boundary in a while for South Africa too. It's a popular gym in Thailand that sells equipment, says Junior there. I mean, unexpectedly, heavy rain around, says Danielle. And we've always been a bowling and fielding team, says Sash, and they have got a bowling lineup that goes deep for the Proteas, but that is a shot and a half, 90 metres from Marco Jansen, the biggest of the day. And the big fist bump to go with it. Do you have a last name? I do, yes. What a show, choke, says Brian. It's not over yet. I always say it runs on the board. Oh, let's hit down the ground. Straight to Daryl Mitchell for the 1. You got long on and deep cover have had a huge amount of work to do past the 115. Says Jansen, yeah, up to the 126 now. In fact, no, it's more than that. In fact, 128. Or is it? No, sorry, 121. Just doing the maths in my head was completely off. I'm planning to come and live with you, Hamish, says 7. And Extendo Arms says Sash. And how many balls left, says Mohadeen. So we are halfway through the 16th over at the moment. In fact, I think my scoreboard still needs to update. Oh, no, it's up to date now. So you got 21 left. That's a good shot. And it's hit through the gap in the outfield. 4 more runs for South Africa. 160 is on. It is 100% on. It only takes a couple big overs. And Matty Henry at the moment, he is getting tonked by, in fact, both batters. In this case, well, cricket is a hard game to call, says Daryl there. But yeah, at the moment, 21 balls remaining, now 20 in total. Unless, of course, New Zealand bowl wides and no balls. We are close to the halfway patch of this one. You have to ask that question. Would South Africa be happy currently sitting with 126 on the board with where they were? Oh, great Yorker from Matt Henry. A brilliant answer. Getting hit for 2 boundaries and 3 balls. Just a single down the ground. You're looking to get out of this over relatively unscathed, although at the moment he has gone for 14, so this one really needs to be a dot ball, or maybe just a single. 50-run partnership, though, for these two off 43 balls. A little bit slower than some would have thought, but it was an important rebuild because, you know, had they lost one of these two, it could have been a very different looking total on the cards. They look happy, but India might be a possible opponent for the final. They are a very likely opponent for the final, but whoever wins this game, you know, it will be great to see them through for that final in only about 4 days' time. We are actually going to be covering it on the channel as well, which is pretty awesome. Be sure to stick around for that. Matt Henry, another Yorker, well bowled, and just a single to finish off the over. 128 for 5. Do you think Uncle England can cause the upset? I think that England are one of those teams that can go out and score a massive total or they can get rolled for about 120. It's very hard to tell. Up against India, they are, of course, going to have to play some of their best cricket. But is it possible for them to win? I think so. But yeah, India, with the fact that they have dropped so many catches in the outfield and still have got into the position that they are here, you know, that game up against the West Indies was not an easy one to win whatsoever. But they did well up the top of the order. Jansen looks like he's in great form. They've got other guys who can fire. Right, credit to New Zealand and how they set up the field there, says JP. And goes, however, get the best, says William Moses. I think we can make 160 plus. We have a game. Or if we can make 160 plus, absolutely. And the accelerating period, they've scored at 9 and over for South Africa. So almost 2.5 more than they did score at for the 7 to 14 period. But now 3 overs at the end. This is where South Africa, they either book themselves a 150 or they can push towards 170. And I think 170 would be a pretty handy total on this wicket. Score predictor has them 163. Marco Jansen on strike to Lockie Ferguson. Just waits for that one. And again, out to deep cover for the single with the back foot cover punch. New Zealand always very smart with field positions. I remember Fleming was a master at it, says SoCal. And yeah, it just brings that little bit of a risk for the South Africans, how New Zealand have said, if you're willing to hit it leg side, we've got 3 men there who can possibly catch you if you don't time it. And we have seen a couple catches already taken by New Zealand. Couple dropped too. Are you supporting South Africa or New Zealand? Honestly, I like both of these sides. I'm from New Zealand, so I should be supporting the Kiwis, but I feel like South Africa also do deserve to make it to the final with the way that they've played. They're currently the only undefeated side throughout this competition with 7 wins from 7, pitched up from Ferguson, hit straight back down past him, and it hits the boundary rope too. Stubbs moves into a positive strike rate. That one, not a lot of risk with that shot, just hitting it straight back past the bowler. And that is now 103 tournament fours for the South Africans. It was outside off stump, so he had to work it across the line a little bit. That's where an outside edge could have maybe come into play, so Ferguson may not mind that shot too much. I think New Zealand prepped very well for this game. Definitely studied the tapes. You know, after the way that they lost to them in the group stage up against the South Africans, New Zealand knew that they needed to do something different here. Oh, Stubbs finds that one. He gives it some and it's into the crowd. 10 runs off 2 balls for the youngster, and he now moves up to 28 in emphatic fashion. 706 tournament sixes. You remember, mate, says Charles? I certainly do. Welcome back. It's great to have you. We have got the South Africa is going to win, says Kyle. Tell you what, if they reach 170, I wouldn't put it past them. And already with the 10 runs from these 2 balls and the 11 from the over already, it is actually Neesham bowling, I should say, rather than Ferguson. My apologies. So not quite that same pace that you would see from Ferguson. And I guess those 2 shots now make a lot more sense. No offense to Neesham. Come on, boys, says SoCal. And 170 might be on the cards here. Absolutely. Last 10 balls, 27 runs for South Africa. Now Neesham, where does he put it? Bowls another well-placed Yorker. Similar to what we were seeing from Matt Henry earlier on. I actually want South Africa to win as a Kiwi because if India play us in the final, we are probably going to lose. Says Charles, I don't think either of these sides will head into that final with massive confidence, just based off what we've seen in terms of past T20 World Cups. But that doesn't mean they won't have a decent chance. I'll mention at the moment, New Zealand came in as underdogs heading into this contest. Oh, and that's going to be 4 more for the South Africans down the leg side. And this is becoming an expensive over from Neesham. How many wickets have fallen? Just the 5. And currently, I mean, look at the strike rate. It is going up drastically. The current run rate is almost up to 8 and over. I should become the new General Secretary of the UN. I love your political correctness, says Vic and Vern. Well, it's just tricky because I like both teams. And people are like, no, you're not allowed to like both teams. But honestly, like, I think it's because I just like the sport in general. So I'll just take anything that we can get. We have got there. Where Vic now? Vic's just above you. And nice, says Sean. Yeah, an expensive over from Neesham, going for 16 thus far with 1 more ball remaining. So Neesham seems like he either goes for over 15 or has a tight over where he gets a wicket. So I don't know if New Zealand will want to bowl him again in the closing overs. Now charging in again, Neesham. And Stubbs picks up the length early. In fact, it was Jansen. Oh, it's taken over the boundary rope. It was a 6. Chapman didn't know where the rope was. And a very expensive over from Neesham goes for 22. Just like that, South Africa have the 150. And now 180 is well and truly on the cards. This one has fallen apart for the Black Caps as we reach close to the end of the innings. Very nice, bringing the heat, says SoCal. And yeah, that one clearing the rope for Chapman. Does actually drop the catch as well. I think he realised that he was over the boundary rope. Well hit, says JP. Yeah, these two have got power, and they're showing it now. Jansen with a very handy 34. Almost doubling how many runs he's had up till this stage of the tournament. But New Zealand, they had this game in control. Then 2 overs in quick succession. 15 off the last. A total of 22 off of that over. Completely changes a game of cricket. And all that for 115, did you say, says JP? Tell you what, if New Zealand had taken 1 or 2 quick wickets, it could have been. But these two were smart. They built their partnership first. They accelerated later. Now Ferguson comes into the attack. 16 runs off his 3 overs. With the pace on the ball, we may see that innovation that was talked about from Stubbs. Loves a shot behind him. Oh, he's clean bowled though. Ferguson rips it through him. And that is a big wicket, just as I started praising the partnership. But honestly, this was a game-changing partnership for the Proteas. It could have looked very different for them at this stage had they not had these two men build it back up. They got a partnership of over 50, but Stubbs now goes. How fickle T20 is, right? 2 overs is a long time. Absolutely. And they were just showing the stat how in the last 12 balls, I believe South Africa had themselves about 30-something runs. I don't rate Stubbs against quality bowling, says Clint D. And that's where I was surprised that they didn't go with Ferguson last over rather than Neesham. I thought it was Ferguson. My commentary, or sorry, not my commentary, my coverage was a bit blurry. And they kind of looked the same, although I should have known by the pace he was running in that it was Neesham instead. No, and Bosch can still hit though, absolutely. 11 balls remaining. That's a chance of, honestly, few boundaries in there, and you're looking at 170. Which in a finals or playoff match, it's a lot. You know, Seifert at the top of the order. He's got an average of 43 for the Kiwis, but a quick fire wicket. They could have had him early in that game. The opening contest up against Afghanistan for New Zealand. Dropped him on about 4. You know, if South Africa take that chance, if he ends up getting it, or if they end up getting it, we could see a very different score as well. Come on, boys, you can do it, says Ed there. But Kerwin Bosch, 31 years of age, brilliant bowler for the Proteas. The whole bowling lineup can also swing a bat. Needs to do so here. Ferguson will be looking to knock his pegs over. Run rate has accelerated past the 8 and over. Just worked out to deep cover for, again, just the 1. It's a smart play there from Bosch. Knows that in a matchup up against Lockie Ferguson, he's probably not favoured. It's a good ball from Ferguson, and actually an interesting tactic the way he's been bowling, because he's bowling round the wicket. And that one just cut across Stubbs quite nicely. We have a great bowling lineup. They do. I think this is the best bowling lineup the Proteas have had in quite some time, which is what makes this, once again, such an intriguing run chase for the Black Caps. And loving the willow, says Danielle. Oh, tried to step across the stumps there, Jansen. Looked to hoik it to leg, but doesn't make connection, so a dot ball there for Ferguson. This has been a very crucial over for the Kiwis to be able to take control back of this game. But of course, there's still one more round the corner. I believe it will be Matt Henry who bowls that final over. But for now, Ferguson needs to get through 3 more. Deliveries less than 125 Ks throughout this ICC T20 World Cup. There's only 8 runs off it. Slower ball, Jansen picks it up though, hits it deep, out mid-wicket way, and that is 6 runs. And again, you know, that turns a good over from Ferguson into a costly one. 7 runs now off the first 4 balls. That one was 127k, so a bit in the middle of nowhere for Lockie Ferguson. And Jansen, he's got the power. He steps and just swings through the line to hit it all the way for 6. And also we have got there what's off what the score. Says Martin. Oh, another shot. Jansen hits it big, and that's the half century from the South African. I was going to say the 2-metre South African, but I'm not. Yeah, he's over 2 metres, isn't he? But that is a brilliant strike. 2 back-to-back sixes. A very good 50 for Marco Jansen. A match-winning 50 potentially with these extra runs flowing now for the South African side. Yanni, come on, my boy. And not many people were picking Jansen as the guy to fire. There were talks of whether it would be Brevis, whether Markram, de Kock. But Jansen has turned this one around. Slower ball from Ferguson to end the over. It's an expensive one, but it brought a wicket. 13 runs off it. And that brings South Africa up to 163 for 6 with 1 over remaining. Do you think South Africa win? I think that with what they've been able to do throughout the last maybe 3 or 4 overs, they've put themselves in a position to have a great chance. Now, of course, we have to wait to see New Zealand bat too, but Marco Jansen has changed this game for the better. 52 of 27, and still there is an over remaining. Kerwin Bosch will be on strike. Oh, sorry, Corbin Bosch, I should say. Kerwin Bosch, of course, the fly half from South Africa. But he's sitting 1 from 1, and all he has to do here is either swing for the fences and get bat on ball, or he has to get a single off Matt Henry and give the opportunity to Jansen to keep on going. It's outside off stump. He's hit it to the leg side. It's out to... Oh, Phillips in the deep. Bit of a misfield there. Do they get through for 2? No, they just take the 1. Is this the final? It is the semi-final. Please take us to 180. And now big opportunity to do so. They maybe could have run 2 if they were going right from the get-go, but I believe the plan was always going to be to get Jansen on strike. Henry needs to bowl outside off stump here, I believe. Or up there as a Yorker. I think that is something that you'd normally see from Matt Henry when it comes to the death bowling. But Jansen, anything that's in that hit-me length, he is just standing and delivering. And has potential to do it, I would say, 3 times if Henry gets his line and length wrong. Jansen just swing, yeah, he can turn this into 180 if he gets connection with a couple more. 5 balls remaining here, Mohideen. Pitched up from Henry. Tries to get underneath it for Jansen. I believe they'll take on the 2. No, they just take 1. Good fielding in the deep from the Black Caps at deep backwards square leg. Mate, this will set up a thrilling second half to this game, JP. I think we have a good chance now, says SoCal. Yeah, the total has really rotated, hasn't it? From looking like New Zealand were going to be in a comfortable position by keeping that economy rate down. Now you're looking at around 8.5 and over. That's a pretty hefty one to get in a game of T20 cricket. Definitely win the playoffs. What is in front of them? 2 runs, 2 balls of Matt Henry thus far. Bosch on strike. Can he send one for a maximum? It's outside off stump, just as a wide there for Matt Henry. Yes, it is. Just outside of that line. And even if we don't win this effort by Jansen, gave us a decent chance. Absolutely. Like Jansen, he's hit 5 6s, 2 4s. So he has more than doubled when it comes to the 6s hit here, which is absolutely incredible. But it just shows the power. Do you make the match 50-50? Says Ben, absolutely. A lot can change in very quick succession. If South Africa take a couple quick wickets, that can change the game. But Henry's ripped through Bosch with a good pitch delivery. It has knocked the stumps over. South Africa 7 down. And more crucially for New Zealand, that is a dot ball. But Bosch, he has to go. They have got Rabada, I believe, will be the next man to make his way in. He can hit a long ball too, but it's a good length Yorker. Just sneaks underneath the batter, Bosch. And he is sent on his way by Matt Henry. 2 off 3. Did rotate the strike, though, in that last over, which brought 2 maximum 6s for Jansen. So you'd still say he's done all right there. This is going to be close, just a hunch. Says SoCal, well, hopefully it doesn't go to a super over, because I feel like we've already had the stress of a super over so far in this tournament with the fact that Afghanistan and South Africa went 2 in a row. But Kagiso Rabada, 3 balls here. Jansen is the strike batsman. He is at the non-striker's end at the moment. If New Zealand is smart, they'll try and keep it that way. Jansen should have stayed at the wicket and swing for every ball. Says Ben, well, that's where, you know, they did turn down the 2 off that first ball of Bosch. You wonder if that just broke the momentum a little bit. The last shot from Jansen was just the single. He's got long legs, so maybe they could have tried to scamper through for the 2. But it's never too easy. Right, Rabada on strike. Matt Henry. Oh, it's chipped down the ground. He's timed it straight into the hands of Jimmy Neesham, and Rabada goes for a golden duck, which now has turned this last over from an accelerating one into a bit of a dangerous one for the South Africans, as they can find themselves with now their number 9 batsman, or in fact 10, Maharaj, out there with 2 balls remaining, and maximum you'd think 175 now for the South Africans with back-to-back boundaries. But Rabada goes for a golden. That is the second golden duck we have seen for South Africa in this contest. And Matt Henry, he is on a hat-trick. Now, McConkey was on one earlier on. I feel like you've backed Henry to get it a little bit more than McConkey, definitely with the fact that he's got a 10 batsman. But this 10 batsman can still bat, and that is Maharaj. As long as Jansen is on strike, he is not. Maharaj will be the man who is on strike here. This has been a clinical over from Henry. 2 wickets, 3 runs from it. Rabada can make up with that for the ball. And if anything, that probably just fires him up more, doesn't it? For Kagiso Rabada. He'll go out there and look to really attack early on. Terrible last over, says Stephen. Yeah, and it is a shame because up until this last over, the last few overs from South Africa have been very clinical. They do take the single. So Maharaj sees off the hat-trick ball, and now South Africa 1 ball, 1 chance. Just showing the Henry wickets, though, throughout the over. Rabada, the worst thing is he just chipped it down the ground to Jimmy Neesham, and you'd actually say, like, Rabada timed that well. It just came off the bottom of the bat, and he didn't fully commit to the shot. Over 600 watching live. You must do more cricket, says Gislin. It has been, yeah, insane. Like I mentioned, I wasn't sure if we were going to have 30 people watching, 5 people watching. It is a random hour of the night for us here in New Zealand. Good last ball from Henry. They're going to look for 2. Maharaj left early. These could be crucial extra runs. And, oh, it was close to a run out at Jansen's end. But I believe they've managed to get through. And that makes the total 169. Is it enough? New Zealand would need 170 to win. To go at about 8.5 and over to be able to get their game is still on. It absolutely is. That middle patch and Marco Jansen's batting has made this game much more competitive than it looked like it was going to be. South Africa losing a couple crucial wickets early. An Aiden mark from Quinton de Kock. They lost Rickleton for a golden duck. But it was the partnership between these two, Marco Jansen and Tristan Stubbs, that got them back into the game. Some question whether they were accelerating quick enough, but I think they've probably worked this to a very decent total here for the South Africans. And it's a competitive total for a playoff game. We are in this game, says SoCal Dreaming. Does South Africa have balls? Well, they got 120 that they'll have to bowl here. Quinton de Kock will need to be sharp. Says Danielle, the Proteas need to bowl very, very well to win it. I think New Zealand will do it, says Vic. And Marco saved us with the bat. He shall save us with the ball. Now, last time that he was up against New Zealand with the ball, I have got it here. He's actually a little bit expensive in the end, Marco Jansen. 4 wickets were the big factor that saved his bowling, though. And I think that was down to the extra bounce that he's able to get. So the question in this scenario, I think the answer would be yes, but would you take 4 wickets for 40 runs? I think you would. In this scenario, definitely if it's the top order that he's getting those 4 wickets for. But Kagiso Rabada, good economy last time playing up against the Black Caps. Him and also Maharaj were the only 2 who had a better economy than New Zealand would need to win this game. And just thinking about the last time that these 2 sides went head-to-head, it is there as that middle one. 175 was the total that New Zealand set. 178. South Africa chased it down with a couple extra overs. Is that what we're going to see from the Kiwis here? Or is it going to be a brilliant bowling masterclass from the South African attack that has done so well throughout the rest of the competition to perhaps get something going here? Storm's been sleeping for 4 weeks now. Just turn around and continue to sleep. And South Africa has great bowlers. They absolutely do. This game is not over as of yet. And that's what makes it so exciting. New Zealand, though, they are going to need 170. Win probability at the moment actually has New Zealand 65% as well, compared to the 30% that we see for the South Africans. Ngidi is out. Our informed bowler, says JP. I was about to say, if he's out, then that is a crucial player who is missing. Yeah, I think that for South Africa, it's also about what Maharaj can do here. We saw New Zealand use their spinners quite a bit. We saw Cole McConkey. He only got to bowl 1 over, by the way. Went for 9 runs, but got 2 wickets. They gave him 1 in this case. Lockie Ferguson, he was a bit more expensive, but he got that crucial wicket. Bowled a very decent second last over. But Satner, economy of 6.25. Rachin Ravindra, 7.25. So every spinner, with the exception of McConkey, who only bowled the 1 over, had a very strong economy. How long is the break? Normally about 10, 15, I believe it is, in between these two sides. It won't be a massive break, though, and we'll be back into the action in the very near future. For the South Africans, you look at that bowling lineup. They've got Maharaj. Would they... who would they give the next bowling option to when it comes to spin? Would it be Miller or would it be Aiden Markram? I know Markram, last time that he played up against New Zealand, he was quite expensive. I think it was 17 runs. How was the pitch? The pitch, I don't believe, is the pitch that they thought it was. All throughout the build-up of this match, we were told that we're going to see 200 as the par total on this wicket, which I don't know if that's the case. We were told that it wasn't going to spin too much, whereas the spinners have been the ones who have been reaping the rewards. And they also said that there wasn't really going to be too much spin bowled in the middle play, and that's what we saw from New Zealand. See you all for the Six Nations, says Bruce, so you'll see you later on. Another South African loss is on its way. I wouldn't guarantee it. I think that they've still got enough of a chance. They've got Ngidi, who has been bowling brilliantly. He's bowled 24 overs throughout this competition. He's taken 12 wickets. That means every second over he's been striking. Corbin Bosch, still got rugby on the mind a little bit. He has taken 12 wickets also from his 23 overs, an economy of 6.78. So they are the two real strike bowlers. And that's not even considering Marco Jansen, who's taken 11 wickets, although a lot more expensive in the economy department. And then also Kagiso Rabada, someone who some would argue hasn't had his greatest tournament with the ball. He's bowled in 6 matches. His economy's just under 8. He's only taken the 4 wickets. But it would not surprise me one bit if Rabada comes out in this playoff game and finds some of his best form. And never can tell what will happen with this crazy cricket, says Hill. Yeah, I mean, that India versus West Indies game, probably the perfect example. Because, West Indies set a very good total, and it seemed like that would be enough. And India, they were going to need one of their biggest, or in fact, their biggest run chase that they have ever had in a T20 World Cup. And they did it comfortably in the end, it seemed. I missed to hear, says JP. And a shame we don't have more spinners. And I think that's because of what was said about this wicket. I know that there will be dew later on, though, in this matchup. So that might be one factor. It will make it very hard to get that rip of the ball for the spinners. But I think that when you've got a class pace bowling attack, we did see Ferguson find himself some success out there. Matt Henry as well. So I think South Africa can do this with the quicks. They just can't afford to have anyone who's super expensive throughout it. How many wickets were catches, Hamish, says Ruby? So throughout the innings, we saw Markram go out caught, Quinton de Kock go out caught, Ryan Rickleton gone out caught, Brevis gone out caught, Miller gone out caught, and then Rabada gone out caught. So 6 wickets from caught and 2 wickets from bowled for the South Africans. And none of those wickets were actually caught behind for those catches either. They were all in the outfield, and I would say about 4, if not maybe 5 of those could have been avoided with just picking a different ball to try and hit. Our bowlers can take all the pace off the ball and use that grip and dew, says SoCal. Exactly right. And Ngidi, he has shown that he has got a lot of skill with that ball, definitely the new one. And then also that slower ball that Bosch offers as well. This is well and truly on. I like this total. 169. 170 to win for the Kiwis to book themselves a spot on the final up against either India or England. They are playing each other tomorrow. But there's just something about that middle of 150 to 200 that just, a little bit of early pressure can do a lot, but New Zealand have got some handy batsmen, as we have mentioned multiple times. You look through at the top order, Tim Seifert, he has been in good form for the Kiwis, 7 innings, six innings. He's got 43 as his batting average, scored 216 runs with a high score of 89. Normally quite an aggressive batsman with the acceleration, but when you talk about aggression with the bat, you look no further than Finn Allen. He had 84 not out as his high score, 189 runs so far in the competition. New Zealand, they have had some pretty decent opening partnerships at times, particularly in that one match where the two of them were able to just bat time. But this is a different game. And Finn Allen, if he's striking well early, it will get New Zealand off to a flyer. Same with Tim Seifert. But what do you do if you lose 1 or 2 early wickets? Where does the mind go from there? I reckon New Zealand get it done. But thank God for Jansen saving us from embarrassment, says JP. And last time, Jansen got 4 wickets up against New Zealand as well. So, yeah, I think that Jansen's innings showed a lot of maturity in the way that he played. Like I mentioned, a lot of people wanted to see them go at 1,000 miles an hour, get into a position where, 200 was still on the cards. But it just didn't feel like New Zealand were bowling in a way that would allow that, other than in that later patch where they started to cash in. But yeah, it's going to be good. I enjoy a good run chase, and I think this is going to be one of them. Currently, New Zealand are given a slight favourites role in this scenario, but we're not talking by much. South Africa, $2.60 underdogs here, and a couple quick fire wickets up against the Kiwis can completely change the game. We just see Marco Jansen warming up with the ball in hand. Semi-final pressure is different. And you know what the best example of semi-final pressure for these two sides is? Their semi-final records. Between these two teams, they have been in 8 semi-finals, and only 2 of them have been won. So that just kind of tells you how this sits at the moment and how unpredictable this one could end up being. We will add New Zealand's wickets down the bottom as well. And what I'll do, just to make it a little bit better, just so that everyone knows what South Africa, where I will, you know what, we'll take away South Africa's wickets. We don't need to see that while New Zealand are batting. It'll be a bad reminder for some. We'll go like that. There we go. And we will add that one down the bottom. As you can see, that win percentage at the moment in favour of New Zealand, which you compare Jansen to Morne Morkel. Some lanky build and lethal bounces. I think Jansen, bowling-wise, has a bit of Morkel in him. I think batting-wise, though, you'd probably say that Jansen has the potential of being that middle order, or even, in future, he could find himself as high as 6 or 5 if he really hones in on that batting option. But I think it's because of his height that you straight away have him as one of your strike bowlers. And then alongside that, you've also got, of course, those batters up the order. Thanks for the stream. Can't watch on TV, and I can't find it on any radio station. I see you're a lifesaver here, says Walter. No worries at all. And yeah, I am hoping to be live for that final as well. For whoever wins this contest, they'll be going head-to-head with India or England. Not going to be an easy final for whoever it is. But this is not going to be an easy run chase either. So that adds a lot of anticipation. They are short boundaries, and maybe that's why we saw South Africa get caught so much, but a few mistimed ones. 6 times South Africa were caught in the field. New Zealand did drop 2 catches. It didn't cost them massively, as they were able to get rid of Markram not long after, as well as David Miller. Only a couple balls after his drop, but the 2 batters have made their way to the middle. Tim Seifert, Finn Allen, combined in this tournament, over 400 runs for New Zealand's openers. Both love to get bat on ball, strike it, and strike it hard. But it's a semi-final. The pressure is different. ICC international ranking for Seifert, he sits as number 10 in the world for batting. South Africa to win by 30 runs. Oh, okay. Is that New Zealand bowled out, or is that New Zealand just short of the total? I'd assume bowled out. I don't think New Zealand would leave themselves short if they still had too many wickets in hand. And it will be Seifert on strike. And Marco Jansen is going to be the bowler. How was the pace in the field? It looked all right, although as the evening progresses, there will be a bit more dew. That does end up coming into play, so it may slow up a little bit, but honestly, if they strike the ball hard because of the short boundaries, it will be going. And quick sticks go the Proteas, says Ruby there, but we are now ready to go in this innings, ladies and gentlemen. The launch, the power play, 6 overs for New Zealand to try and get, I would say, above 60 to feel confident, but anything over 50 is a bonus. I see this going to a super over. It would be incredible if it did, but Marco Jansen first ball, and Seifert turns it to the leg side, only gets it to the man coming in to run at short mid-wicket, and a dot ball to start this game off for the Proteas. What we will do now is we'll go like that, and we'll go like that as well. We'll stick that down the bottom just to fill the gap. I think you like cricket more than rugby. CS called Story Sharks. We cover a lot less of the cricket on the channel, but I love both of them. They're fun in different ways, and, you know, it's a semi-final. Oh, swinging delivery from Jansen, but it goes through the gap between cover and point. First boundary of the day for Tim Seifert. Markram still claps it as he knows that was close to the outside edge of Seifert's bat. 145 Ks, from Marco Jansen. Flying it down there. But yeah, outside edge of the bat. Fielding and catching will win this game, gut feeling. Big time. Catches win matches, as they're saying in New Zealand. They did drop 2, but it didn't cost them too badly. Cricket can be more fun, much more fun sometimes. And also we have got there, oh Lord, he says JP, the first boundary. Average here, left arm pace since 2024 for Tim Seifert is 47.8. New Zealand to crumble, I believe, like 45 for 5. Oh, hard down the ground, but it bounces into the hands of the man at mid-off. Seifert already looking to accelerate early. Most people after hitting a 4 would be like, you know what? I've had my shot. I'll just wait and see what this next ball does. It was pitched up from Jansen and Seifert went after it, strategically hitting along the ground. 3 balls, 4 runs at the moment for New Zealand. South Africa, they did have a slightly shaky start with those early wickets falling. Pitched up, worked at a leg side from Seifert, times it nicely. Should be able to get back for the second. Fielded in the deep. And keeps it to 2. No doubt, bruh. Says cool story. But all South Africa need here is a couple quick wickets. Put the pressure on New Zealand. And again, it can completely change the way that this match is going. Tim Seifert, he's been pretty consistent in terms of either going less than 15 or over 35. His high score was up against the UAE. That was 89 not out off 42. Oh, it's off the edge. Oh, goes through the slip cordon for 4. It was almost the strike for Jansen. It forced the edge, which is exactly what the Proteas were after. But it results in the 4 runs. How close was this? It was absolutely flying through at 1,000 miles an hour. It goes to about a probably 4th slip region. I would say there goes between the gully and first slip. Frustrating one there for South Africa, but they have been finding the outside edge of Seifert's bat more time than not throughout this burst over. Last ball for Jansen. Outside off, it's off the edge, and it's all. Is it dropped, or was it bouncing? We're going to see the replay here. He looks frustrated. Was it a catching chance? And it will be the end of the first over. 11 runs off it. And see, we can't have unlucky things like this. We're going to see it, though. The outside edge. Bounces to Ryan Rickleton. Didn't someone call it early? And the Jet Jansen get 50 and 5 wickets. They did. They did say he'd get his 50. And like I said, not many people were backing him to do so. But he came in at a crucial time. Got the runs on the board. But Jansen's economy, that is the one thing that may hurt him. I talked about it earlier on. Would South Africa take his 4 wickets that he got in the first match up against New Zealand for the 40 runs that he conceded? And I think if it's the top 4 that he gets out, then absolutely. If Hamish and my New Zealand book dealer are happy, then I'm happy. Says cool story. And now Kagiso Rabada into the bowling attack. New Zealand current run rate 11, required is 8.37, but they need a quick start. Man at deep third man and deep fine leg. So no one deep down the ground. And it's hit straight by Tim Seifert just for the dot. South African working in Malawi, listening while driving. This is stressful. Thanks for the great commentary, Gary. No worries at all. Thank you very much for tuning in. It is greatly appreciated you being here. I've mentioned it. Whoever makes it through, we will be covering the final on the channel up against either England or India for one of these two sides. Both have a 25% winning rate in semi-finals, so it's been questioned who will be able to hold their nerve better. Now Rabada, short ball side, but that's gone an eternity in the air. Should be a catching chance. De Kock can't get to it. I think he called it early, but the man at deep fine leg, I believe, would have had a better chance. That is an error in the field from South Africa. De Kock has had to cover about 35, 40 metres to get to that chance. The man at fine leg probably only would have had to go 20 metres. We're going to see the replay now, but Seifert, he picked up the length early, but he hit it even higher, didn't rotate the hands over the ball, and De Kock was just not able to get to it, chasing after it, and you see the man in the background. Oh, no. That is fine leg's catch right there. De Kock, he did call it, so pulling out of that for deep fine leg to allow their keeper a chance, but when he doesn't even get to it, you have to say that that was a mistake from the Proteas. It does bring Finn Allen onto strike. He hasn't actually faced a ball yet throughout all the eventfulness of the first 8 balls. And we have got there, De Kock should not have called that. No, that was fine legs catch every day of the week. Oh, glided through the slip cord, and that is a cheeky shot from Allen to get off the mark to a flyer. And I don't think that's a shot that many people would have picked for him to play of his first delivery. It was just a little bit short. Throws the hands outside off stump at it and just glides it nicely through that cordon for 4. Surely the man coming forward must take the catch. He should have. And that could have come down to the fact that I want to say the man in the deep, I think was Brevis. So he's just gone, right, my captain's called it, so I have to listen. Well, not my captain, sorry, but the experienced head. The keeper normally gets the opportunity. You know, at the end of the day, he has got the gloves on, but I'd love to know how many metres fine leg would have had to cover there, or deep fine leg, sorry. Because he pulled out of it and he stopped running a long time. Right, we're going to see it here. So De Kock covered 29 metres to get to that one. I think deep fine leg probably would have had to cover about 15 metres. So almost double the meterage for De Kock, and he didn't even get close to it. But he did call it. Rabada to Seifert, chops it away outside off stump. Bit of a misfield there from South Africa and Maharaj, but he gets through for the single, 7 off. The Rabada over thus far. Allen back on strike. De Kock was shown on Jimmy Kimmel a few days ago. True story. Says Cool Story Sharks, and our experienced players have let us down big time today. Says JP. Yeah, normally, you know, if those experienced heads are letting you down, the young guys are the ones who have to then step up. And I think that Markram said it best heading into this match, how the team as a whole have worked together very nicely. Players have stepped up at different times. And it's the bowlers now who have to step up big time. Work down to deep third man. Just a single for Allen to close out the Rabada over. 8 runs off it. New Zealand 19 for none. There should be a cakewalk for the Black Caps. Have these two stay in for 8 overs, Hamish? Yeah, these two, because of the strike rate that they normally go at, I think that they should theoretically by 8 overs be around 70, 80 runs. Maybe even more if they can accelerate and make the most of the mistakes. But South Africa are now $3.40 underdogs here, ladies and gentlemen. Just from those 2 quick-fire first overs from the Black Caps. And don't get me wrong, they didn't go absolutely huge when it came to the strike rate or anything like that. I think it's just that miss in the field that has caused maybe a little bit of uncertainty around this Proteas side. But it will be Marco Jansen now bowling to Finn Allen. It's a great matchup. The height of Jansen, the aggressiveness of Allen, and he hits him down the ground over his head for 6. Moving up to 25, and that is the type of form that we have seen from Finn Allen throughout the BBL. He was one of the key members of that Perth Scorchers side, and that one will hurt Jansen down the ground hard and timed from Finn Allen. Gave him a little bit of width outside off stump at 84 metres. Back over the bowler. Thank you very much, Vic and Vern. Greatly appreciated for your generosity there. I don't think we can win anymore unless a huge New Zealand collapse. Seifert happy with that one from the non-striker's end. Jansen, what does he do to follow up? Goes outside off stump. And again, just chopped downwards from Finn Allen towards that gully point region. Just the single taken. Good rotating of the strike so far from the two Kiwi openers. Markram needs 1 wicket for 50 in T20s, and I think we may actually see him bowl throughout this one. He was expensive last time they faced New Zealand, but the spin on this surface seemed to be the more economical option. Kagiso Rabada only needs 2 wickets to bring up his 300th in T20 Internationals, and it can't be overstated how crucial he is in this chase. Oh, that one snuck through. Did Seifert get the edge? Umpire says no. South Africa are confident here, and I think they may even review this. There was a loud appeal from behind the stumps. Jansen liked it. The wicketkeeper liked it. They're going to be checking it here. This could be a big moment in the game. Are you watching the AFL tomorrow? Or today or tomorrow? Are you talking about the NRL or the AFL? AFL I probably won't be. I might be watching the NRL though tomorrow. Maharaj is key for the South Africans, Hamish. Absolutely. The fact that they've only got the 1 spinner. Okay, there is what looked like a gap between bat and ball, but I wouldn't guarantee it. I believe the noise was actually off the pocket. We're going to see the replay now. And it is a flat line past the ball, or as the ball passes the bat, so it will be not out. It's still another review available, but yeah, just off the pocket, that is where the noise came from. I don't think there was an edge, says JP. It swung back drastically, though, for Marco Jansen. The only South African happy for Hamish, says cool story. And happy for you, Hamish, says JP. And there as well, but 7 runs so far off Jansen's first 3 balls. That one is a dot. That's all going wrong here, says JP. Although still one more review up the sleeve. That is the bonus that South Africa have at the moment. Target of 170 still a long way away. Ramp shot from Tim Seifert. That's gone high and long. And it clears the rope for 6 more. 141 Ks to be able to work with. Seifert got into position early and just ramps Jansen up. The economy, I've mentioned about it time and time again. For Marco Jansen, he is a wicket-taking threat, but he also can go for a lot of runs. And Seifert's trying to make this over a massive one for the Kiwi. 69 metres, not a massive 6 by any means, but because of the short boundary behind him in that case, does work it nicely. I got 3 sponsor opportunities. Says Junior, this game is wrapped. It's not over yet. There's still time, I can tell you that right now, and wickets can change absolutely everything. Shown again, rugby game. Not cricket, says Daryl. It's all going wrong here, says JP. A little bit of a field change here. They've got a fine leg, a deep backward square leg, and then also a deep backward point. So again, focusing on players behind the bat. Pitched up and straight down the ground from Seifert. That is a classy drive. And another 4 runs off the Jansen over, still with 1 ball remaining in it too. Well done, Kiwi. Nice match, says Clint D. New Zealand fast accelerating to 36 on the board after 2.5 overs. They have really looked to target this power play. I thank you for the kind words, but us Proteas supporter know what's coming. Says 7. It's a good shot from Seifert as well. Holds the pose afterwards. And South Africa now $5 underdogs. That would give them about a 15% chance of winning, I believe they're saying. But again, wickets can change everything. This is ugly, says SoCal Dreaming. Another field change. Starting to get a little bit reactive here, South Africa. They've got a man at long on now, who was at deep point down the ground. That will be just the single for Seifert, finding that fielder at long on in Rabada. And that is the end of the Jansen over. It does go for 18 in the end, in fact. So a very expensive one for the South Africans. We have got there South Africa. It's brandy time. Says JP, required run rate is still around the 8 and over, though. And it does seem like a lot of runs early. But once more, just, couple tight overs from Maharaj or Ngidi, who is just now coming in to the bowling attack. And we have got the Jansen economy is shocking so far. Yeah, it has been his downfall of this tournament. And he has had a good day with the bat. Ball, though, it looks like he might bring up his half century too. Ngidi first ball. So on the stumps, work to the legs, side, misfield from South Africa, but still got enough on it to stop it from going to the boundary. New Zealand will take 3. That is great running from the Kiwis. It's Allen on strike. South Africa joking in. I wish I could say I'm surprised. Says Buddy. And extra play says John. And why bother the guy that just saved us with his batting? To be fair, and in the defence of Marco Jansen, he has, or in just the most recent game up against New Zealand, he took 4 wickets. So he was their strike bowler in that game. But yeah, it does seem like maybe he's just in the run-scoring mode, whether he's batting or bowling in this case. If I was a drinking guy, I would be hammered by now. And easy win New Zealand, says Music Man. Currently 40 for none off 3.1. This is one of the better starts we have actually seen from New Zealand. Michidao, anything over 60 in the power play would be a massive bonus. It seems like they're going a lot more aggressive than that. Ngidi, nicely bowled. Just a single taken by Finallen. It's where New Zealand are being smart, rotating strike when available too. I don't even drink. It's just for special occasions like South Africa choking. Says JP. Undefeated up till this stage of the tournament. This is the first time that we have seen Ngidi bowling to New Zealand. He wasn't playing. Oh no, sorry, he was playing. 1 for 34. And the last time that they went head-to-head these sides. Feels like a long time ago, but it really wasn't. Tim Seifert on strike, 27 off 14. He has started fast, so has Finallen at the other end. Ngidi pitches it up. It's in the air from Seifert, but just falls short of long off again. Or sorry, in fact, mid off in that case. Oh, please have a stiff one for me. And right, boys, I'm off. Enjoy the rest of the game. Off to finish my afternoon work. Well, hopefully it all goes well, 7. And if they do somehow make it through here, South Africa, hopefully we will see you for the final. If they are playing in that one too. Of course, the final, we are only sitting around 4 days away from that one taking place. I am going to be covering it on the channel too. It doesn't overlap with any of the rugby or cricket that has taken place, which is fantastic. And Ngidi running in. He's gone for 4 runs of his first 3 balls. Oh, pitched up Yorker. Slower ball as well. Worked down the ground to long on for 1. I'm going to have a strong dot now. And this is looking good for New Zealand. We just don't need any cock-ups. And we got this. These viral shorts. Yeah, as long as they can avoid any sort of significant, wicket-taking periods from South Africa. Because as we saw multiple times when New Zealand were bowling, 1 can bring 2. We saw 2 in the McConkey over. We saw 2 in the Matt Henry over at the end. Wickets can fall in quick succession. Current run rate is over 10. Required is 7.8. Ngidi, though, it's been decent so far. Hit down the ground straight to that man who's fielding it deep. Mid-off, he has had the ball hit him about probably 5 times so far throughout the first almost 4 overs. And I'm okay with no power for a while, says JP. How about Dave Rennie getting the job? Is that the right choice? Very hard to say. We can only say if New Zealand do well in the World Cup. But until then, for now, it's just a wait and see. 42 runs, 3.5 overs, and Ngidi only going for 5 thus far. Oh, Seifert with that innovation again, and he's ramped him for 6. That is a pretty brutal end to a great over from Ngidi that turns into now 11 runs off it. Seifert progresses up to 28 off 16. And New Zealand are 48 for none. How about the only thing that can make it easier? Says Daryl. Yeah, just moving across early again for Tim Seifert, but both times that he has ramped it, he has got it firmly out of the middle of the bat. Let's make it frustrating for this bowling attack. 71 metres, so a couple extra metres compared to his last there for Tim Seifert. Finallen. Scoop shots versus pace, he's had 63 runs, 2 dismissals. Whether or not he would try it in this case, we'll wait to see. Seifert playing very well. Yeah, he's been New Zealand's... I know that some would say that Allen's been New Zealand's form batsman, but I would say Seifert has been... both of them have backed each other up very nicely, though. But Seifert, when he's timing them, and with the amount of innovation that he has, we see Rabada replacing Jansen from this end now. And straight away, Seifert goes after him, just clears the field, doesn't get a massive amount on it. Chasing after it hard and nicely stopped on the boundary by South Africa. New Zealand will take the 3 again, though. That is impressive running with the fact that these boundaries are not huge. Just quick between the wickets for Jansen, as well as... Oh, sorry, not Jansen. Quick between the wickets for Seifert and Allen. In that case. New Zealand looking to do this in 12. They are definitely trying to get it quickly. They don't want to leave anything to chance, and they know that if this game is close, that's the type of match that South Africa can come right back into. So the Kiwis trying to make the statement quickly and try and slowly, well, not really slowly, just work the score total away. Van Allen on strike. Chance again for Rabada. Hasn't taken many wickets at all throughout this tournament, but that does not mean he can't. Played again by Allen under his eye line. Oh, misfield there, but it won't cost them. Man at deep point runs in. Does grab it. This is carnage. Take the pace off the ball. Says SoCal dreaming a 10-wicket humiliation. I don't think it will be a 10-wicket one. Don't get me wrong. New Zealand did very well in their chase up against, I think it was the UAE, where Allen and Seifert did put on a massive first-wicket partnership. But I don't think we're going to see it here. South Africa, we've praised their bowling attack a lot. And they've got enough players that can take wickets. They just need one soon. New Zealand getting out of the power play with less than 70, but 2 wickets down. I think South Africa would almost have to say would take that. Don't worry, next year is our year, says Ben. Now, pitched up, hit down the ground from Seifert, straight to the fielder again. He's been picking him out very nicely. And crazy horses all day, says Bruce. And this pitch, I don't think this pitch has done anything like what they thought it would. Which is why someone like a Maharaj will be absolutely crucial in the way that this Proteas team go. Maybe Markram or, one of the part-time spinner options might actually get a few more overs than anticipated as well. Pitched up, that's in the slot, and a hit down the ground from Seifert, another 6, and that one is possibly the biggest of the day. Definitely for the Kiwis anyway, just straight back over the head of the bowler. Seifert seeing the line, picking up the length, and just sending it over Rabada's head. Tried a little bit of a leg cutter there by the looks of it for Kagiso Rabada. Was slightly slower, and Seifert punishes it. 83 metres. In the end, as I try not to choke. That's not a good word to use in this scenario, is it? It wasn't on purpose. Oh, another short ball slapped away by Seifert. Hits it down the ground between long on and deep mid-wicket. And it's back-to-back boundaries for the Black Caps. 13 off this over. They're already on 62. And the last time I saw South Africa win an ODI title, I was when Hansi Cronje was captain. Says Cameron. Whacked away by Tim Seifert. I don't think I understand cricket anymore, says Ruby. It's an unpredictable game. South Africa really do need that wicket. New Zealand need 108 more runs off 91 balls. Progressing nicely. Seifert a little bit late playing that one of Rabada. And that is the end of the 5th over, though. New Zealand already at a very handy power play total of 62 with still another over remaining. I think it's time for me to go make dinner. Good day, Hamish. And all thanks for the stream. Hope New Zealand wins the whole tournament. Says JP. So, Hamish, when I said 170 plus, puts us in the game, I actually meant 270, maybe 370. I will let you know, says SoCal Dreaming. Yeah, currently New Zealand a long way ahead of the required rate. South Africa did progress nicely and methodically throughout that middle patch, just to then really up the ante from about 16 overs on. Now, New Zealand, the way that they are trying to chase this, it seems like they don't want to reach a 16th over. They are going to look to just keep on going and going. But again, one big wicket could be the difference. If they can get rid of Seifert and Allen before the 10th over, I think that they still have a chance. But if both men are not out after 10, New Zealand would be a long way towards this total. It is now going to be Bosch comes into the bowling attack. South Africa are now $12 underdogs in this match, ladies and gentlemen. That gives them about a 5% chance of going on to win this one. Hate to use the word chokers, but Proteas have always stumbled at T20 crunch games. And even New Zealand as well, neither of these sides have had a brilliant record. That's a great shot from Finn Allen, chopping it away on the offside. And that is another 6 for the Kiwis. First ball of Bosch is sent over the fence. New Zealand now on 68. Oh, Alan, no, that one's going to go wide and through the gap, similar to what we saw from Seifert in the last over. 6 and then 4. 10 off 2 balls for Finn Allen. He sits on 31 off 11. And India won the tournament already. Watch, there's Ben. They are now, if South Africa get knocked out, India are clear favourites. And I think that even with South Africa being undefeated up to the stage, India were still favourites with how they beat the West Indies. And now Kerwin Bosch just coming into the attack. What do you do when you've gone for 10 runs off your first 2 balls? Last 10 balls for New Zealand have gone for 30 runs. 3 sixes, 2 fours. Most of those runs have come from boundaries. Bosch pitches it up. It's off the edge. It's over the head of the man on the circle. Playing at third man. It's Jansen for it to clear him. You know it's gone high and it's another 4. An unsafe shot there from Finn Allen, but just throws the hands at it anyway. New Zealand 3 4s away from a centurion of them throughout this tournament. I blame Jean de Villiers, says Kwan there. And check your viewership. A lot of my countrymen have rage quit, says SoCal Dreaming. It's a frustrating start for the South Africans, but like again, anything more than a run of ball can sometimes be brutal. But it seems like this batting surface, it was a brilliant toss to win for Mitch Satner. Decided to bowl. He said about the dew later on. Oh, hit down the ground from Finn Allen. Straight and effective, another 4 runs. We have seen 4 boundaries from Finn Allen in this over of Bosch. 18 off the first 4 balls. Bosch has been a wicket-taking machine. 12 so far throughout the tournament. But even taking one now may not help that economy too much. Typical South Africa return to default. Nothing new. South Africa chokers are back, and this is a tournament choke, not a match choke. They were never in this match for the first ball. New Zealand excellent all over them. I don't want to box New Zealand and Wellington hammering on them, says Ben. And now, how does Bosch answer back? Pitches it up. It's off the outside edge, but again, Allen, he's going at the ball that hard that any sort of edge goes to the boundary. It's another 4. And now this is an over of so far 22 runs, and there's still a ball left. I have to applaud Allen and Seifert, though. They're making our bowlers look like kids. They have decided that their tactic here for New Zealand is to try and get that run rate required as low as possible and make the most of this power play. Last ball of it. Bosch is smiling. 2 of these shots have gone off the edge for 4. What a joke. That's what arrogance gets you. Says Connor, last ball. It's a short one, and it's going to be a wide. Too high from Bosch. Or is it? No dot ball to close out the over. 22 off it. New Zealand 84 for none. Seniors did nothing yet again. Can we see 6 sixes when Maharaj bowls? Says Ben, I think they've got to go to Maharaj right now. New Zealand are enjoying the pace. And is this where South Africa's, I guess, selection may come back to bite them? They said it would be a great surface for batting. They said that it wouldn't really be a spinner's track. And they also said we wouldn't see a lot of the spin, but I think New Zealand showed that the spin option is actually the better one out there on the surface, and South Africa may look to try and sneak a couple overs out of their part-time spinners here. So the commentator's got the pitch report dead on. Well, I think they got it right for the second innings, but first innings-wise, it did not look like the surface that they were after, and maybe it was just South Africa making it look like hard work, because New Zealand have come out absolutely firing here. 84 for none at the moment. Now, I have a question, and hopefully someone will have some sort of statistic. What was the highest power play total throughout this Cricket World Cup so far? I'd have to say that this is close to it. It would definitely be top 5, maybe even top 3. But 84 off the first 6. And Quinton is trash, that's why. And isn't it crazy to think they've been absolutely pelting the ball around the Black Caps. But had Quinton de Kock not called for that catch that wasn't his, had Fine Leg and Rickleton gone in, or in fact it was Brevis, gone in, taken that catch, this game could have looked so different. Selection makes no difference. This is just pure punishment from the Kiwis. Doesn't even make the softball or the ball soft for his lower order. I want Ish to play in the final aim, and she deserves it, says John. Yeah, he had emotion in the national anthem. I believe it was this national anthem that he was in tears, and he wasn't even playing in this contest. In fact, it might have been the last one, up against South Africa, in fact. They're just showing the highlight reel, and there have been plenty of them for the Kiwis. 84 for none off the 6 overs. That is 84 off 36 balls. Going at a strike rate of over 200 for these two batsmen. Currently 286 strike rate for Fennell, and he's up to 43 off 15. Tim Seifert's on a strike rate of 195. That is what Markram had up against New Zealand the last time these two sides met, in which South Africa were victorious. New Zealand may just hope they're not playing their final today and can do it in the final also, says Ben. Imagine how much money people bet against the Proteas. Says Sash. At least we have the rugby, says Kwan there. And now the power play has finished. We are now ready to go for the consolidation period. Now, this is a stage where South Africa lost a few wickets and had to rebuild their innings. Whereas New Zealand, they are in a position where they can still accelerate. And also with the required run rate of only 6.14, all they need to do is just rotate the strike, Maharaj, into the bowling attack. One of the keys here, and it's a dot ball of his first delivery. Aiden is a bad captain. Watch this. Says Sash. And I know what that word means from Car Daily, and he is not happy with what we've seen from the South Africans so far. South Africa, after this stage, we're 48 for 2. Seifert gives himself room. Sit to the leg side. No run taken. Well fielded. Man who had to cover from about mid-wicket ran around. Why only now? I think it's just because they wanted more protection in the deep. But you'd have to say maybe it should have been a little bit sooner that they look to use him. Seifert chops that one away through the field. That is time to perfection. Hits it through the extra cover region. And Seifert moves to 45. Your good commentator says, just hi, thank you very much. We are going to be here for the final two, ladies and gentlemen. I would quite like to cover that game tomorrow between England and India. So if I can get the morning off work on Friday, we will be able to do so. But luckily, no overlap in that match on Monday for the final, or Sunday for you guys in South Africa. So we will be doing that one 100%. Very nice. Told you KG is bad. Says 123 Australian. And QDK dropping that catch was a final chance. Now it is gone. And Maharaj should have been in at over 3. And can't offer any comments here. Not a game I understand, but hope you're having a great day. Master of multiple sports. Says first 15 rugby. Greatly appreciate you popping in, mate. I'm sure you will be keeping a close eye on the Six Nations this weekend. Some massive games to take place. Dragged down by Maharaj. Hit down the ground to long on for 1. Allen moves up to 44. Seifert could be 1 shot away from his 50. And we may also see Fennell theoretically 1 away from his 50 as well. Still game on, hey? Says Sash. Yeah, South Africa can bring back that economy and force New Zealand at a run rate of over 7. I would say that that's their best chance. Seifert hits it. And just the 1 down to long off this time, and Marco Jansen. And today, don't say this out loud, we were bad today. I was worried about this, says Sava the Flubber. Hopefully I said that correctly. Jansen is bad, KG is bad. I mean, to be fair, Jansen got them into a position that was almost a decent total in this contest. Without Jansen's batting, they could have been possibly bowled out for around 115, 120. It's like someone put a curse on South Africa because how do you choke for 30 years? Yeah, the fact that it's been so many different eras as well of players, like so many greats have succumbed to losing in semis and finals. For the South Africans, they have got a 25% winning rate. New Zealand needs 79 from 78 balls. Ngidi now back into the bowling attack. And shout out to the motor yacht Aquila. Oh, big full toss from Ngidi. Not quite what he would have been after. Or maybe it was. It only went for 1, or does it? No, a misfield in the deep. It is saved by Jansen from being a boundary. He can't get that ball in his hand. New Zealand almost could have taken 3 by the time he finished fiddling with it. But in the end, it's 2. Goes through the hands of Jansen and just took enough pace off it to be able to stop it from running to the boundary rope. It's a long way down to his toes. He's got the wide eyes at the moment of the field, Jansen, as if to go, what was he doing with that? Do I have to watch us lose another final, though, says Highlanders fan? Maybe. India are in good form. England are an unpredictable team who have beaten New Zealand. But of course, this game's still not over. It's in the air from Seifert, goes over the field, and it will race to the boundary. That is the half century for Seifert. 53 of 28 balls, accelerating at quick succession here with a strike rate of around 190. was exactly what New Zealand needed in this scenario. They needed a great start, and they've got it right here with Seifert and Allen. And a 97-run opening partnership stand here between these two men. Less than a run of ball now required for New Zealand. And not only the loss, but the way they're losing is a big concern, says Ben. I can handle a loss, but not like this, says Ruby. Seifert on strike. After bringing up the half century, does he look to accelerate more? It hits him on the hip. They will get the leg by New Zealand. South Africa was very poor. Congrats. Hamish in New Zealand, says Music Man. And let's go England, says Hannah. And Markram is not it, says Sash. Now, 100 days to go till the Women's T20 World Cup. That is happening between June and July. Markram is a better captain than Bavuma, says PJ. And Cook says Epic World. Yeah, 7.2 overs down at the moment. Or 7.3 in fact. Leg by. Ngidi pitches it up. Seifert. Is that the non-striker's end? But again, New Zealand just rotating beautifully here. Hits it out to deep cover for one and Finn Allen. Big umpire, that is live, says Ben. Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting nominated to call any more of South Africa's matches anytime soon. They were undefeated until we decided we wanted to commentate their games on the channel. Although we did pick the game that was going to be the biggest question mark for them so far. But still, not ideal. Seifert on strike. Apparently, he's going quickly. 53 off 29. Yet, the Allen's got 260. And New Zealand have all the luck today. Yeah, those two drop catches could have cost them early. Great shot from Seifert. Running around the boundary, can't get to it. It's too well struck again. Tristan Stubbs unable to bring it in. Another boundary for Seifert. But yeah, the two drop catches. Ravindra dropping Markram early. That seemed like it was a big moment. Miller getting dropped early by New Zealand could have been a big one. But that catch of Daryl Mitchell, it was debated about whether or not he got underneath it. And already South Africa, a missed call from Quinton de Kock led to a catching chance going astray. Last ball of the over from Ngidi. Beautiful slow delivery. Drops under the bat and almost clips the off stump. But it's the end of the 8th over. New Zealand 103 for none. However, their bookmakers have stopped taking New Zealand win bets, says Faram there. And don't worry, Hamish, it's more mere flesh wound. We are used to this. Congrats to the Black Caps, and New Zealand are just better than South Africa at cricket. Says Craig, and bloody hell, this is actually getting worse. And we have got the I love your commentary for this end, the rugby, says Hannah. And yeah, plenty of rugby coming up this weekend as well. So, of course, be sure to tune in for those ones. We've got the Six Nations. We've got the URC, or sorry, not the URC. We've got the Sevens. We've got Super Rugby as well. So plenty of excitement still to come. Unreal. I've stopped watching the Proteas for a few years because of this. You'd expect the bowlers to show up. Bloody hell. Choker title fits like a glove, says Raven. And it's like someone put a curse. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Oh, trying the ramp shot to the leg side. Just scooping it round the corner for Allen. And there's no one back there. This is going to be 4 runs. A very smart cricketing shot from Finn Allen. He moves to 49 off only 18 deliveries. The only controversy is that Miller catch, or it was Markram's, wasn't it? How Daryl Mitchell, they said he got his finger under it. From one angle, it looked like maybe it wasn't down. Like as in the ball was down. And it's not the pitcher. South Africa can't handle the pressure. Now, hits it down the ground, and that is the half century for Allen. One of the quickest in this T20 World Cup competition. 50 off just the 19 balls. New Zealand showing their appreciation for their strike batters at the top of the order. These two, though, the job is not done yet. But they made it look a lot easier than it could have been. I'll be there for the Six Nations. Maharaj. Again, hit down the ground to long on for just the one. I'm done watching cricket, says PJ. And yeah, that one never won. Or never out, but yeah, pressure and the conditions not in our favour, says Hano. It looks like Kronya's still alive, says Johan. Clearly not the pitcher fault today. No excuses, South Africa, says Dale. Yeah, and they always say you can't judge a pitch until both teams have batted on it. Oh, Allen goes big. He goes aerial, and he goes for 6 over the head of the man at deep mid-wicket. Just Maharaj dropping his length back too much. And Finn Allen had time to rock back on that back foot. It's something that he did for the scorchers throughout the BBL due to that extra bounce that you see on the Perth wickets. And he's done it there in India, 77 metre 6. I'll never learn, says Sash, and we South Africa don't deserve to see the final, so New Zealand just win and get it over with. It's painful, says Newton. Maharaj, again, just a little bit shorter, knocked into the hands of cover. One ball left of the over, but Maharaj has gone for 19 runs so far. And should just move to India, Quinton as well. To be fair, they'll probably get some good money in the IPL, wouldn't they? Now hit away. Oh, the caller 2 straight away from Ben Allen. I think he's almost just, no. Well done in the deep. Thought he got that enough to be able to work it away to the boundary, but 2 to close out the over. 9 overs in. New Zealand are 117 for none, and they only need the 53 off 66 to go through to the final. Is South Africa out? Not yet, but it's closer now. I have Ali Choker memes ready to go. And who is this Cole McConkey guy? He's a handy spinning option. He only got to bowl 1 over. Took 2 wickets from said over, but he can also bat. He's had to really work hard to get minutes or get opportunities in this Black Caps team. He's normally subcontinent extra spinner that they'll look at times in the short format, but yeah, he had the 2 wickets. They only bowled him 1 over though. There's no fight on this Proteas team here. They need something here. And the chances of being able to win from this moment are very, very slim. This isn't close, Hamish, 10 wickets in hand, 53 runs, easy win, says Cameron. Oh, bowled him though. That can change a game. Kagiso Rabada goes right through Tim Seifert. It is the first wicket that has taken 117 runs. They're going to need a lot more of those. But again, great batting from Seifert at the top of the order. He'll be disappointed to go out in that fashion. 58 runs on the board off 33. But now, no longer says not applicable down the bottom. Seifert the first of the wickets. Finally a wicket, says BJ. And damn, yes, says, hey, no, so much for being the favourites of the tournament. Damn, we are being punished. And also we've got there, do you see 50 for 10 happening now? It's only 50 for 9 though. And come on, says Josiah. I don't know why I allow myself to get caught up in the Proteas vibes. I just get excited to be key down again. It's a toxic relationship, says Lisa. Now, Rachin Ravindra. He has been an up-and-down batsman throughout this tournament. Came into it not in the best form. Average of 28.75. His best is 59 not out. He's had 1 not out throughout the matches. The DJ's starting to press one button 50,000 times in a row trying to get the crowd hyped up. How much do you see 50 for 9 happening? Says SoCal Dreaming. All I know is cricket's a very unpredictable game. And just when you think you know what's going to happen, you get chucked a curveball. You know, Rabada, he had taken 4 wickets up till this match. He's got 1. If he takes a 5 for, including the top order of New Zealand, who knows what we see. But currently, it is New Zealand's game to lose by a massive amount. And if they were to lose from here, South Africa wouldn't be the ones who get that choker name. Hit down the ground from Ravindra, straight to the man. At mid-off. I actually believe in miracles, says Xander. Well, they are going to need one here for South Africa. That Bale almost went to the boundary. That's how hard Rabada cracked it into it. And 2 hat-tricks all bust, says Ruby. Yeah, they need to do what New Zealand did, and that is get wickets in partnerships. And get wickets in quick succession. Ravindra works it to leg side just for the single. Now, what does Finn Allen do here? It's probably the big question. Does he continue to be aggressive? Or does he decide to maybe cut back a little bit? Don't go as crazy. Seeing as they've just lost that wicket and can't really afford to lose 2. I think Allen, his natural game is to just attack. So I think that's what we're going to see here. Now charging in. Rabada, it's been a good over so far. It hits Seifert in the thigh pad. Allen will keep going. Allen. I keep on calling him Seifert. Yeah, Allen gets the single. And go New Zealand all the way from South Africa, says Dunvilly. 119 for 1. They are just about at the 10 over mark. Still a lot of work to do for South Africa's bowling attack, which has been so strong throughout the rest of the competition. Rabada goes to Ravindra. It was almost a diving catch opportunity there for the Proteas, but it's hit to the boundary. And Ravindra, it's his first of the semi-final. Let's see it now. How close was this to the man at point? It was aerial for quite some time. Oh no, bounces just in front of them in the end. Not a chance. I don't even 10 over, says SoCal. And also, we have got there as being sarcastic. He say go New Zealand because he knows that what happens to South Africa always in semis. I believe in miracles, says Danielle. And there as well. Oh, picked up early from Ravindra. Pulled away. We'll get the single out to deep. Square leg. I'm just forever with cricket. And all over in 15 overs, says Craig. And yeah, it would definitely be a statement from the Black Caps. Because in their last match up against the South Africans, I believe South Africa won the match. And that was with about 2.5 overs remaining. So 17 balls left. South Africa were successful up against New Zealand in the group stage. Seems like New Zealand are out to really make a statement here. And say, look, you beat us by 17 balls. We're going to try and beat you by 34. I just done forever with cricket, says Newborn. Or sorry, says Newton. There's no miracles happening here today, says Cameron JK. Yeah, for all of the games, South Africa, had this been the game prior up against Zimbabwe, it wouldn't have changed too much other than maybe who they were going to play in terms of the semi-finals. But if you were to ask this Proteas team, would they have rather lost that last match of the group stage or this one, I can guarantee you what they'd say. They just haven't been able to fire with the ball. The bat, top order, didn't quite get the job done. It's another boundary. New Zealand are finding gaps comfortably here. And Bosch comes back into the attack. He's bowled 7 balls and he's gone for 6 boundaries. We're talking about a man that normally is right up there when it comes to economy in terms of the South African team. His bowling economy will go like that. We'll find him. Corbin Bosch rather than Kerwin. Or Kerwin. 8.5 as his economy. That's pretty handy. He's taken 12 wickets too. But just not his day at the office. Corbin Bosch though. Yeah, Kerwin Bosch is the number 10 for the Sharks normally. But he's not playing. Although, I think he's not a bad cricketer. By all accounts. There's a dot ball though for Bosch. 7 balls, 6 boundaries sounds about right. Proteas have no balls left, all gone. I'm just working out which team I would rather lose to in the finals. Says Beer Hammer. That's the spirit. Fastest 50s, Allen tying the record of this T20 World Cup with 19. Down the ground from Rachin. Ravindra sneaks one to mid-off. And hang on to your pilot, says Danielle. So who's going to the final? So if New Zealand win this, well, I don't want to say when New Zealand win this because cricket's so unpredictable, but whoever wins this game goes up against India or England. And I think that's India's game to lose, to be honest. At home as well, it's going to be a tough one. 41 runs from 57 required. Finn Allen's still at the middle. He'd love to be there at the end. He needs 32 runs to get to the century, which would mean Ravindra is unable to score any more than 3 runs. Oh, head goes up in the air there from Allen. Hits it out to deep square for 1. Who is most likely going to win this match? New Zealand. New Zealand at the moment are 99.9% likely to win, according to some percentages. But that 0.1 can grow for South Africa. If they start taking a few, New Zealand is winning. Come in, Hamish, just say it. Says Cameron. Oh. Well, injury for Finn Allen might change things, ladies and gentlemen. They should win this game, but I think he hit the bat into the side of his legs by the looks of that. They should remove the occupation of professional cricketer. In South Africa, they are only cricketers here. Says SoCal, and get the bookies. Did the bookies go to Proteas? How much money are they going to get for the sloth, says Ben. And South Africa and New Zealand need to lock in, says Josiah. They are just showing the hype package for England versus India. It's taking place just around the corner. The final of this World Cup. Coming up soon, match fixing. says Cameron. So I was highly unlikely for South Africa to win this unless they start getting lots of outs. Pretty much, yeah. They would need to bowl New Zealand out from here to win. And they would have to do it with New Zealand only needing 40 more runs. Finn Allen back on strike 9. Oh no, sorry, not 9. That one's going to go high and long from Allen. Gets enough of it. It is 60 in the over. It was actually a decent one up till then. Allen still got the injured leg. And I think they may even retire Allen here. He looks in a lot of discomfort. 13 runs off the over though. Bosch has been expensive. South Africa have exactly 0% chance of winning, says SoCal. Yeah, Allen's struggling. He tries to run, and yeah, that ankle was no good. If they lose Finn Allen, New Zealand may lose that final. It looks like they're just giving him a little bit of attention at the moment. Is it even worth the risk for him to keep going in this contest? He will want to. He's on 65 of 25, currently striking at 260 strike rate. Have a smile, mate. Been up long enough to enjoy this tonight. Says 666. Yeah, currently sitting 5:15 a.m. here in New Zealand. Can they retire 8 more to make a game of it? And no match fixing, just not good enough to get the job done. When the spotlights are the brightest, it's been like this for more than 20 years. And so Hamish, stop jinxing. Says Cameron. Yeah, concern for Allen at the moment. Whether or not he will continue batting here. Looked like it was maybe left ankle that he was struggling with. I believe at first initially was either how he took off to run a single, or it may have actually been that he struck his ankle while trying to play a shot. We'll get more word on that later. 33 runs needed off 54. Finn Allen is still down, getting a bit of a massage. Just showing it there, 5 sixes, 6 fours. So that's 54 of his runs have come from boundaries. The toss had a massive influence. Yeah, well, from the very first moment that this pitch was put down and talked about, 200 was what everyone was saying was the past score. And South Africa, at times throughout their innings, it kind of looked like there was a chance of a bit of reconciliation, or however you say that word. It looked like 180, 190 they were still going to be able to get, but it was just the way that they threw away their wickets. 6 players out of the Proteas were caught. And, you know, they just had to pick their ball. And they didn't do it well enough. I think the top order, the guys up the top didn't quite perform. Markram, who's been going at a strike rate of close to 195 throughout the whole tournament, one of the best in the whole tournament in that regard. He was only striking at around a run a ball. South Africa humiliated, says Stephen. And our supporting New Zealand to win the final. Well done today. That shows you winning all the games up to the semi-final doesn't mean much, says Brian. And yeah, New Zealand coming in as the away game for this match because of being the underdog in terms of the rankings between the two teams for this tournament. And Mitchell Santner having a great toss to win. Wonder if 6 wickets and an over would be enough, says Yako. I'm very angry at Brevis, Markram. Miller threw their wickets away. Yeah, and I know we need to, I'm going to throw in another name, Rickleton. A player who's been in some pretty decent nick with the bat. Just, short ball outside off stump from McConkey. The type of ball that you punish. Hit it to the boundary. Or just, don't hit it in the air to the guy who's waiting for it. We have got their 2 big moments that decided the match. In the second part, Boulder tired Jansen in the beginning of the second innings. And Quinton de Kock missing the catch, game over, says Ben. But now it looks like Finn Allen is all right to continue, is getting a bit of attention for some cramp. And also, it did seem like something lower leg-wise for Finn Allen as well, but getting the rub down and ready to go. Required rate of only 3.67 for the Kiwis here. 11 overs in. Maharaj back into the bowling attack. Rachin Ravindra can't sneak it through the field. I don't know why I'm still watching, says Lisa. It is still appreciated you being here at this stage. And to be fair, there are a lot of you guys from South Africa who have been sticking this one out because the game does seem almost done and dusted. But yeah, it's great that you're still in the chat, you're still watching at this stage. I will mention we are going to be doing the final on the channel. I would quite like to do India versus England tomorrow, so if that's a game that interests some of you guys, do let me know. That one's going to be hit deep. The man at long off for one. South Africa didn't even get a pass score, says bad to the bone. Yeah, it does seem like it was a 200 wicket, if not more. In fact, 220 may have been hard to defend with how Allen and Seifert started. What happened to Markram? He wasn't on form. He wasn't striking the ball too cleanly. He got dropped on 3, made the most of it with a couple good shots after that, but just didn't get going and picked the wrong ball to go after. If you avoid the pain, you don't learn, says Ruby. Finn Allen. And leg side, Maharaj whipping off the pads. That's beautifully played from Finn Allen. He will get another boundary here. Number 7 for him when it comes to 4s. Now 28 required for New Zealand. And this is the type of game that could be over within 3 more overs if New Zealand continue to strike the way that they are. A 300 would be difficult to defend if you bowl like this, says SoCal. Yeah, they've just missed their lines. They've been punished for getting the the length wrong, actually. Oh, that's in the air. Allen scoops it, still hits it for 6. That is a show of a man in form. Didn't time it look like whatsoever, and still clears the man in the deep. You actually see there, Allen looked nervous about this one. He felt like he didn't get it. Oh, no, then he had a little bit of confidence after playing it, but it's a bit of a groan for a start. Still got it over. Hit through the gap. And just the one in the deep. New Zealand now 21 left. Can't punish a great commentator for a poor South African performance. We're still here, says Darwin. Yeah, it is our first game of cricket that we've covered in a very long time on the channel. And I have to say, it's been a lot of fun. I've missed it as well because, you know, a lot of the time with the cricket ones, as some of you guys know, we've had a few issues with like strikes and whatnot when it comes to the cricket. But I'd really, if it works out, I'd like to cover that New Zealand-South Africa T20 tour. That one's coming up in only 2 weeks' time. I think it would be a lot of fun being able to chuck some of those matches in, definitely because some of them are midweek. So, you know, if you guys are keen, it will be more experimental sides from both teams. And I think we'll see games much closer than this. And Allen has gone nuclear. Yeah, he took it seriously when I said that he would have to score a majority of the runs to get to his 100. He's trying to do just that. Oh, he had to hit that one though, Allen, and that is once again a sign of a batsman in form. It would have piled into his middle stump had he missed, but he scoops it over and gets another boundary. I will have a good net run rate going into the final. That should count for something better than a boundary count back, says Bear. And also this game could be over in 1 over. We always joke in this year we were favourites, the most balanced South African team. And I think that's why it's so frustrating for South Africa, because going into this match, I mentioned about it, this is one of the better South African sides that we have seen in recent times. And this game was going to put a massive dampen on that, because people will look at this performance and they'll go, no, same as usual. But I think that this side still deserves a ton of credit for what they did up till this stage. But for a lot of people, they will say that doesn't matter because now they aren't through to that final. Have you seen my Hong Kong Sevens video for that competition? I actually looked for it on Instagram. I did like the hashtag that you said, and I couldn't find it, Dane Set Match. So if it is on Instagram, be sure to flick it through to the Kiwi Lads Instagram, and I'll give it a look. Great form, says Danielle. I've been listening on and off, and I can't say I like cricket that much, but this has been an interesting background listen. There's Fleshton. Oh, again, just timed by Allen. Hits another boundary. Markram can only smile because, like, they're just punishing this Proteas bowling attack. Jansen back in on attack. Everyone else has been hit into the boundary. It's a decent ball. It was just maybe a little bit over pitched, if anything, down leg. And Allen just works it away with one leg, with one hand, away to the boundary. Losers, Hamish, they are losers. No one remembers who came second and won all the games until the knockout. Oh, big shot from Allen. He has given that plenty. And it has gone into the stand. 6 more. He's on 90 now. This is possible, ladies and gentlemen. 12.3 overs gone. If Seifert goes 6-4, he gets the 100 off 33 balls. It's possible. It's also going to be difficult. I was joking when I said he could get the 100 because Ravindra, I thought surely would get some of the runs, but since then he's only got about 3. Well, at least after this tourney, the Proteas will go into a winning streak until when does the next ICC tournament, says Ben. And now 7 runs needed off 45 balls. Hit down the ground, it is 6 for Finn Allen. Chance for the 100, or does he? What do you do here if you're Finn Allen? Do you go for the boundary or do you go for the single to take the victory? Seems Allen just suffered from cramp, so should be good for the final, says Bear Hammer. And yeah, he's decided he wants this game done sooner rather than later so he doesn't have to run. Game over. Is this over? Or in this over? I think so. They need one more run now, New Zealand. This has been huge for the Black Caps. This has been one of their most dominant wins, not just in this World Cup, but in ages. We're talking years. The ball is stuck. Finn Allen hit it that high up. Now they've got to go and try and find it. Go for the 100, says SoCal. Yeah, at the end of the day, like you can theoretically have the backup as a 1 if it ends up going wrong. Well played, New Zealand, says Herber. And congrats, Kiwis from Barbados. The final will be fun, says Don. We are going to be covering the final on the channel too, ladies and gents. So if you are new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I want to do more cricket once again. And this one was a bit of a test run to see whether or not it would end up getting taken down or anything crazy like that. It seems like it hasn't. So that's good. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing that final. I'm hoping to do India versus England as well tomorrow. That'll be a good old matchup between the sides, if only New Zealand can play such good rugby as they play cricket. Right, 1 to win. Goes for the boundary. It's over the top. Brilliant innings from Finn Allen. He gets his 100 off 33. That has to be one of the quickest in T20 International World Cup history. And he's booked New Zealand through to the final. This has been a batting masterclass from a man in form throughout this year. Some doubted whether he would make his way back into the opening picture for New Zealand only last year, but he has proven that he is the real deal. And if he can do that again in the final, they'll certainly have a great chance of going far, the Black Cats. But New Zealand have qualified for the final. They have beaten the Proteas with a total of 7.1 overs extra. So that is about 30, or that's even more than that. That's 43 balls in hand that New Zealand have chased it down. So I guess that answers that question. It was a 200 wicket, and it was maybe even a 230, 240. And thanks so much. Appreciate you. Congrats, New Zealand, says Dale. Game over, 173 for 1. A statement made by the Kiwis here. Rachin Ravindra, happy with what he has seen. Satner, there's a slight smile there. I would have thought there'd be a bit more celebration from the Kiwis, seeing as Allen brought up that miraculous 100. And shame, Proteas, shame that was terrible. Well done, New Zealand. Yeah, I think this was the perfect example of New Zealand's best game and South Africa's worst. Now, whether or not that was mainly because of the two sides, New Zealand, don't get me wrong, they bowled all right, but South Africa threw away at least 6 of their wickets throughout the matchup, so that could have made a big difference. Top order didn't fire. When I saw South Africa was batting first, I was worried, says Anthony. Yeah, it was a very good toss to win for New Zealand. They got to see what this wicket would do. And also, I think a lack of spinners for South Africa. I know it would have made a massive difference here because of how quickly New Zealand got there. Who won the toss? New Zealand did. They elected to bowl. And it turned out to be a brilliant decision from Mitchell Satner, a player who was criticised for what happened in that game up against England. Well, he may get the chance to right his wrongs, as that final could be happening in 4 days' time. That was worth getting up for early for brothers, says for draw. And thanks for the commentary. Well done to the Kiwis from a Proteas fan in Cape Town, says Murican there. And yeah, once again, this is going to be the game that South Africa are remembered for in this World Cup. But I just want to say how brilliant they have been as a side up till this stage. They were the only undefeated team going into playoff cricket, but that just shows how unpredictable the game of cricket can be. And how brutal of a game it can be as well. The fact that going into this match, they had not tasted defeat, and now this one will hurt the most. And yeah, I'd expect a fired up side coming to New Zealand. It's going to be a couple weeks away. We are going to be covering those games on the channel, hopefully. Thank you for the commentary, gamers. Take the 20 Kiwis. Good luck. Says Raven Black there. Is it okay to cry? Oh, we're going over to Brandy, lads. Says Xander. Yeah, it's a tough defeat. And it's not how I would have liked this game to go as looking at it from a neutral perspective. But New Zealand, they've probably put more pressure on themselves here too with how they have won this game, because now they'll be expected to do that again in the next one. You know, the next one, the big final. Enjoy your cricket commentary. Let's hope YouTube comes to its senses. The game flew by, says Anthony. Yeah, I can't believe we were here for 3 hours 15. Of course, it normally would have been a bit longer, but because of the way that it happened and the amount of overs remaining, it was a bit quicker. First one versus South Africa in a T20 World Cup, says Dame Set Match, and a perfect time to do it too. In a playoff matchup, New Zealand now go to 2 and 3 for semi-finals. South Africa, they go 1 and 4. And the bar already drowning my sorrow, says Dale. It's going to take a lot of Brandon to get over this, says Ruby. And there too. But yeah, nonetheless, anyone just tuning in now, New Zealand win this game by 9 wickets with 43 balls remaining. They are through to the final to face either England or India. They will be playing at the same time as this match started tomorrow. I'm going to have to do some persuading, but I might be able to get the morning off work so that I can cover that game. But yeah, we will try and get that scheduled. It will be later today if we do, probably early morning South African time. So yeah, be sure to check that out. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.